I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Woo! Guess who's back? That's right, back again. I'm back from Cali. That's right, back from Cali. Man, it feels good to be back home. I loved getting out to California, seeing my son, my daughter-in-law, my granddaughter. It was a good time. But I am back in Garage Gym Life, what my buddy Randy calls it, Garage Gym Life International Headquarters. So it is awesome to be back here, and we are hitting the ground running today. Got a good show for you guys. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is John Greaves III. I am the founder of Garage Gym Life, and you are in for a treat. I appreciate you getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. It's Friday. We're going to kick your weekend off the right way with fun, some interesting guests. I'm going to ride with you all the way to the 9 o'clock hour, potentially beyond, depending on how much I ramble and what kind of tangents we go on because of the live chat. First thing I need you to do is hit that like button and hit subscribe if you have not already. Trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. If you will check out the channel, you see that we have hit 40,000, which is thanks to you guys. All right, it's thanks to you guys liking the videos, sharing them, and of course subscribing, because when you share the video, it tells YouTube that this is what people are interested in. For that matter, if you guys actually comment every time you guys are in the live chat and you are commenting, that also tells YouTube that this is something they need to show to people, because it shows that people are engaged with the video. So I need you to, if you're watching this, don't be shy, don't hang back. I want you to drop a comment
and tell me what you think. I want to know.
That's right. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. I want to know. So once again, hit like, hit subscribe. And if you are watching, drop comments so that we can get your voice heard. That's what sets this show apart from every other, let's call it a podcast. It's not really a podcast, but that's what sets the show apart from every other podcast that's out there. It's because you don't have to comment on the show and then wait for the host or guest to see your comment and then take the time to come back and answer whatever question or comment you had. Instead, you get to interact live. Your voice is part of the conversation from the jump. And that's what I love about this. Let's go ahead and say what's up to everybody in the chat. And then I'll tell you guys what's going on today. You guys were lined up already. It's awesome seeing it. Woo, look at all these people. I just clicked on the comment section button here on my dashboard, and it shows it is lit up. You guys are in here. That's what I'm talking about. My guy Carlos, first in the building, says wake up, wake up, wake up. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button, share this link. Carlos, man, preach it, my man, preach it. There you go. Then of course we got Jared Martin. What's up, Big J? Says hello, folks. What's up, Jared? Jared has been DMing me videos of himself just doing awesome stuff in his home gym. If you guys are not following at Jared Freedom Gym, I believe that's what. Jared, put your Instagram handle in the live chat and I will put it up on screen. That way everybody knows how to follow you. Everybody should follow Jared on Instagram. You guys see all kinds of cool stuff. What you won't see is apparently Jared's son singing Recliner of Rage, because apparently that's a secret, because I still don't have that video, Jared. I told you I need the video. Let me live. Carlos says, what's up to Jared? Says, let's go. Oh, Statty Daddy has arrived. The Air Force is in the building. What's up, man? Good morning, fellas. He says we're not on the count. He's probably on the countdown, but I'm not going to start your official retirement countdown until next year. So we got a little bit more left to go in 2024. So I'll just say, what's up, Kurt? Thank you for your service as always. Carlos says your mic sounds nice. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I always ask you guys, how does my mic sound? Because it's not just that I want to make sure that you guys can hear me, but it's also because I use a Zoom P4, and that's basically is like a podcast. It's like a mini podcast studio. Anyway, it's got different settings and volume settings for each microphone. You can put in 4 different mics, and I use it when we go to live stream competitions, right? And so inadvertently, the volume on one could be adjusted up or down. And so that's why I love it when you guys tell me, hey, how my mic sounds, because then I know if I'm too quiet. Let's see here. Matthew Porter. What's up, man? I was texting with Matthew. A significant texting and talking with Matthew, a significant portion of the day. And he sent me some stuff that is going to be part of news and other things. So you guys stay tuned for that. We got my guy, Jonathan, No Fake Channel, checking in. Jonathan just dropped a review that's not a review. That is a review. That's not a review of the latest rep collaboration. So you guys want to go check out Note Fate 24/7 on YouTube, and you guys will be able to see that. Let's see here. Carlos is doing treadmill this morning. Why? So you didn't go to the park? What? You feeling all right? Normally Carlos goes to the park, gets his miles in, gets his steps in before he watches the show. But hey, man, I appreciate you being here and checking out the show, no matter what you're doing to get better today in your home gym. Coach Carbon's entered the building, live chat. This is Coach Carbon, in case y'all don't know, is the president of the replay gang, okay? But he always checks in live before he has to actually go do grown-up stuff and go to work. And so, that way he's doing recon for a replay gang, to let them know, if this is something that's worth watching. So, man, I always feel the I'm like, you know what? I got to make sure that I give the replay gang a reason to come check out the replay. So if you are watching the replay, here is a welcome to you. Thank you for watching the replay. If you're listening to the audio version of this on Podbean, and in fact, let me go ahead. You can check out the audio version if you didn't know of this on podbean.com. So if you are checking out the audio version of this later on, then thank you for checking that out as well. But I still need you to go to YouTube, go to Garage Gym Life Media on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you don't have a YouTube account, set one up, subscribe to the channel. All right. It won't hurt and it won't cost you a thing. All right. Just like love. Love don't cost a thing. Michael Vaudre has returned from Japan. What's up, Michael? Glad you got a safe trip. Welcome back to the United States. And there we go. Jared says, I can be found at jared.freedom.gym. That's right. There you go. You guys go ahead. Make sure that you check him out. Kurt says he's got 147 days till he takes off the uniform. Dude, that's going to be a mixed emotions event, man. But I also understand that, when there's that countdown's important. Let's see. What time is Recliner of Rage today? You know what? This is an excellent segue. Jared, there you go. Jared just gave me the alley-oop. He just served it up to me. So let's go. I'll just tell you guys what's going on today. So in the first hour at 6 a.m., we're going to have, which is now, basically, as soon as I finish rambling about this, we'll have news and other things, plus the brand new Recliner of Rage. Recliner of Rage will probably be somewhere around 6:45. I try to do it as the second to last segment before I bring in the first guest. So it'll be roughly around 6:45 this morning. Just depends on how long we go with these segments before it. But there you go. So that's that. Anyway, then in the second hour, which is at 7 a.m., we're going to have my guy, Jetter Lewis. He's going to join us, and he is going to talk about powerlifting, pec tears, and running a chicken farm. So if that's what they know in the business as a tease, ladies and gentlemen, a tease. All right. So that's at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Then in the third hour, which is 8 a.m. Eastern time, USPC Judge Christopher Wichtl is going to join us. He's going to talk about deadlifting 600 pounds for reps while he was on deload week. He's going to talk about his 40-pound weight. That's right. 40 lbs, 40-pound weight cut. And then also, we might talk about what snacks you need to keep in the refrigerator that's by your bed. Because I know all of us have a refrigerator by our bed, right? Of course we do. That's it. So anyway, now that you guys know what's going on, go ahead, grab a coffee. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't. If all this didn't convince you, hit that subscribe button. And let's go ahead and let's dive into our first segment, which is news and other things. All right, let's go. Okay, news and other things. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first thing I only got one deal to show you guys today. It came across it's not that I didn't get emails about other stuff. This is just the thing that kind of stood out to me. All right. And it comes from Giant Lifting. So let's go to giantlifting.com and we're going to do ye old screen share. Let's show you guys what I'm looking at. December deals from Giant Lifting. All right. So Giant Lifting, you guys see they got a ton of stuff available. It's funny. So this list, by the way, is always updating. Whatever they have on this page is constantly updating. So this doesn't even look the exact same as it did last week. All right. Anyway, the things that jumped out to me from them is they've got the Giant 2X adjustable bench. Now, Carp, I believe that you were someone who checked out Giant Lifting. I don't know if it was a trap bar or something like that, but I seem to remember that you had something from Giant Lifting. If I'm incorrect, let me know in the chat. But anyway, so they've got a bunch of stuff. But like I said, the thing that stood out to me is the Giant 2X adjustable bench. And partly this is because if you guys were watching last week, I showed, or maybe was it last week? It was either last week or earlier this week where I did a YouTube short from my son's garage. He is in the process of setting up his first garage gym. So obviously he grew up with me lifting in my garage gym, but now this is his house. So he's setting up his first garage gym. He's got some little odds and ends that he kind of inherited from me. And now we're going to be collaborating to set up his garage gym. So now it's funny because now I'm back in home gym setup mode, whereas for a long time I haven't been in that mode. So now I'm out there, I'm looking at deals and things like that. And it's just interesting how it looks, how the landscape looks now compared to when I set up my garage gym and when I set up my first home gym, not my first home workout space, but my first actual home gym, which was in a shed. And so it's just weird how things are different now. But anyway, so that's what made this stuff stand out to me. And so this is Giant 2X adjustable bench, retails for $251.99. And looks like they've got a couple color options. Check out that knurling on the handle. Please, you don't need to knurl everything, but in this case, I can accept knurling on this. Let's see. What I'm curious about is the balance point because, and some people have talked about it before, but sometimes the bench is like heavy duty, but it's too heavy, right? And because I share a space with my wife, I've become more sensitive to how heavy a bench is, because for me, it was always like, oh yeah, it's heavy. That feels solid. Good. I don't want something that feels too light because then I don't feel comfortable if I get on it and I'm going to go bench or something like that. Right. But that doesn't mean that it needs to feel like a workout to just move the bench around either, because then my wife won't want to use it. So I've become a lot more sensitive about that. So that's something that we are keeping in mind because my son and my daughter-in-law will both be using their home workout space. So anyway, I don't know about this. So they said this features a 3-post design. It weighs 62 pounds, and it says perfect if you're looking to save money and save space. It does store vertically, and if you store it vertically, let me see if I don't see a picture of it in vertical orientation. But we're gonna try. Let's see. Do we have no? That's it. I mean, no. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's keep going. No. Keep going. No pictures of it vertical. So I guess we just got to take their word for it. Anyway, so it stores vertically, and it it'll be about 17.5 inches away. Come out 17.5 inches if you put it all the way up against the wall, which is important information if you compete in powerlifting, because that lets you know where for the height of the bench, whether it mimics the height of a competition bench, so that you don't have to go and put like blocks under your feet or something like that, like I did when I had it was like old Dynabody adjustable bench and it was too high. So I had to put blocks under my feet so that I would get the same I could practice my leg drive with my legs bent more, right? Let's see here. And let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Michael said he winced when I said pec tear. Hey, dude, I watched it happen. It was no good. It was no bueno. And then I've strained my pec. So I felt I felt sympathy pains when it happened. Carlos said my refrigerator is in the shape of an Xbox Series X. Wow. Okay. I don't even know. I'm gonna come back. I'll circle back to that comment because I don't even know what to say to that. That's amazing. Matt, the British have arrived. Matt says, "Good morning, USA. I won't be about much, unfortunately, due to work. My Insta may be quiet for a few days as I'm healing from a slight quad tear. Good Lord, what's up with all y'all and just like tearing stuff? Just stop it. Just stop it. Come on, man." Matt, seriously, I hope you get well soon, man. At least you can kind of, well, I guess I was going to say at least you can kind of relax a little bit, but not if you're out there wrestling deer for work. So just do the best you can. Just do the best you can with it, okay? And I hope you get well soon. See here. Jonathan said, Kurt, thank you for your service. Yeah, definitely. Carp, there you go. Talking about giant lifting, said this is very close to the Rep AB 3100, but this one has the stand-up storage feature. So let's go back to the weight. I don't remember where I saw it. It actually may have been in the comments on that video that Ashley released earlier this week. And someone was talking about the Rep Blackwing, and she was saying it's just too heavy for her. It may be a great gym, maybe a great bench, but it's too heavy. So she prefers their other bench. And I know my wife liked the AB 5200 2.0. We've got the AB 5200 1.0, but my wife preferred the 2.0 when we saw it at Home Gym Con 2 years ago, because she's like, it's lighter and it's easy to move around, as well as the 2.0 has a decline option. But the main selling point for her was that it was lighter. So if you're saying this is close to the Rep AB 3100, how does it feel as far as weight if you've had a chance to play with it, Carp? I see you said that it does have a better handle. So that's really cool too. I like that. I definitely like that. All right. So then the other thing, so that's enough of that. Then obviously they've got the rubber grip Olympic plates, the cast iron plates, whatever. And then they've got bumper plates. These are factory seconds. So you're going to save about 20% on the black ones and 25% on the color options. So this sale, again, the giant lifting is going on throughout December as supplies last. So they've got different options. You can get a 10-pound pair in gray. Got the orange, which should make everybody at the No Wine Cellar super excited because they're all into that orange. And I'll click on the different colors as I say them, just to let you guys see what they kind of look like. You can get a 25-pound pair in green. The yellow, these are 35s. Let's see, their 45s are blue. So this kind of matches the colors for calibrated plates. Which is something that I know that bumper plates started doing a while back, where they started to mimic the colors of calibrated plates, which I think is a good thing, because if all your plates are the same general diameter and thickness, how can you tell what you have on the bar? You know what I mean? Especially if you got multiple plates stacked. So that's something that came over from calibrated plates from powerlifting. They decided they made the plates different colors. I know that the ones from, I think it's Mayhem Strength. Mayhem had some calibrated plates that were all the same color, but they had different color stripes on them, so that it was still easier for the judge at a powerlifting meet to be able to look at it and tell whether that was whether the right load was on the bar or not. Because you got to think, one of the jobs, so somebody's a lifter, they come up, this is a little bit of a tangent. It's your first tangent of the day. Anyway, so let's say you've got you're using these plates at a meet, and somebody's walking up to the bar. They're going to be looking at the plates because there's a time limit for them to start their lift. So that means they have to check the plates, so they might say, okay, I know I need to have 3 reds or 4 reds, or maybe I need to have 3 reds and a blue or something like that, right? So that's what they're looking at. And if all the plates are the same color, then it's tougher for them to look at it and tell if the right weight is loaded, because it's not the same as pound plates. All right, because calibrated plates tend to be kilo plates. Anyway, so I didn't show you guys the gray. So this is the gray, and that's pretty much the grays. And then I would assume that the reds are, no, that's orange. So there's the 15s. Okay, yeah, so they don't have reds. All right, never mind. All right, so anyway, so you got 10s, 15s, 35s, 25s, and 45s. And then you can also get pairs as well. They offer free shipping. As we know here, kids, there's no such thing as free shipping. So that means shipping is embedded in the cost of the product, but still, that's a cool thing. At least it's not an add-on. They didn't charge you for the product and then tack on shipping after that. So there's that. And let's see. The one thing that got my attention first, and then I decided, was their GGPR 2.0 series, okay? So this is it. So it got my attention because it comes with a lat low roll bundle. And again, so he's got, he's trying to conserve space. His garage isn't as big as mine, so he's trying to conserve space. And I was like, oh, this has the lat low roll bundle. So, and it's only $620. All right. Normally it retails $729.98. All right. Well, for one thing, it's sold out, but I'm assuming it's going to come back in stock. And everything looked great until I said, wait a minute, weight capacity is weight capacity for the lat low row is 450 pounds. I said, okay. But then that had me thinking about, I said, well, what's the weight capacity for the rack? And that's when I saw 700 pounds. I said, what do you mean 700 pounds? 2x2. Wait a minute. 14 gauge steel. 2x2 steel tubing, which immediately tells me that a lot of the attachments that he would want to get wouldn't fit on it. And it's also 14 gauge steel. So I was like, come on, man. So, yeah. So let's go back to the chat. First of all, Matt says it's his own fault. Well, I figured it was you were to blame for the injury. Typically, when there's an injury, it's our fault. It's self-inflicted. All right. So he said, I did 580 pounds for 3 in the deadlift. And Tuesday, 660 pounds on the yoke. He said, I've been lifting heavy a bit too long without a deload. Hoping as it's only slight, I'll be back to lifting next week. I think that's the thing. It's like people say they don't want to deload. I'm like, well, if you don't back off, it's one thing if you're in prep for a competition. Obviously, you wouldn't want to deload because you're going to deload. Theoretically, you're going to deload at the end of your prep, right? So you're going to peak, and then about a week away from the competition, you're going to deload. So there's your deload there. And then some people after the competition will take maybe a week off. Some people did just jump right back into training. It just depends, whatever. But at least you get a deload in there, right? But if you're not prepping for a specific competition, then you need to have planned deloads, because if you don't plan for a deload, your body will force you to deload because you'll get sick or you'll get injured. All right. So there you go. Now, it doesn't have to be crazy. The late, great Bill Starr said that for his deloads, he would just he was a college strength coach. Okay. Let me preface what I'm about to say with that. So what he did was he just wouldn't work out whenever they were on vacation. So basically he was in school. Whenever school is in session, he's working, right? So during the school year, the deload was where, anytime they had, number one, it's the weekends, or let's say Thanksgiving break or something like that. That's when he would just deload. And in the summertime, he would just switch to a different kind of lifting thing. So those are some options. So let's go back to the bench. the giant lifting bench. Carp said it looks like the Rep 3100 and the 4100 had a baby. It is lighter in weight, but it's solid and easy to move around, but still has a 700-pound weight capacity. Okay, cool. Michael, you must have got on the you didn't see last week's show. No, my son is in California. My son is in California and he does not have a garage gym yet. We're setting up his garage gym. So when I say he's got odds and ends, he literally has like little miscellaneous. So he's got the Spud Inc. Pulley combo, the low and high pulley combo that you can take with you to a hotel like this to travel. It's got the thing for if you're traveling, so you can set it up in a doorway. He's got that because I got it for him 1 year on his birthday. He's got a TRX I got 1 year. I don't know if it was Christmas or birthday. He's got a couple of random kettlebells that I just gave him. He's got an ab roller because you should have one. Why not? I mean, you can get those things at Walmart, so there's no excuse to me to not have an ab roller. He really doesn't have much, but I will also say that the best gym in town is the gym that is custom tailored to you. So for me, my gym is the best gym in town. For your gym, you specifically wouldn't be the best gym in town for me because it's not custom tailored to me. That's just what I think. And let's see, he said, does the GGPR have a neural pull-up bar? I don't know, but man, I just turned it down. And you said turn down for what? Because it's only 2x2 and it's 14 gauge steel. Not interested at all. Not interested at all. All right. If I scroll down on the bench. All right, so let's go back to it. Let's go back to giant lifting. Go back to the bench. And you said if it scrolls down, share my screen that way because I do want to show you guys what it looks like. Carp says if you scroll down, you will see it. If I scroll down, I'll see it up against the wall. Yay! Carp is right. Okay. All right. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And what I wanted to see was whether or not the bench touched the ground when you store, you know what I'm talking about? If the actual padded part touch the ground while it's in the vertical position, because some benches, they say it stores vertically, but then the padding on the part where you lie down will touch the ground. I'm like, that's not vertical storage, homie, unless you got something to protect the bench right there. I'm not interested in that. So I like that they've got that little gap. That's perfect. To me, vertical storage of some kind should just be standard on benches now. It's just any bench that you design for a home gym environment should just have vertical storage. And I still remember I said that to the guy from Mayhem when I interviewed him at Home Gym Con. I was like, this is, the bench is nice. I said, but does it store vertically? He said, no. And I said, well, that probably be something you might want to look into because this looks to me like you designed it for a public gym where you wouldn't want benches stored up against the wall, right? You don't want people just randomly standing benches up because that's basically, I would look at that as like a hazard. But in a home gym environment, you want to be able to store benches up against the wall to get them out of the way when you're not using them. All right, so there's that. All right, so let's stop sharing that. Anyway, like I said, we looked at it and then we said, not interested because we're not interested in 14 gauge steel. My son's not a beginner, and so yeah, that wouldn't work for him. Matt says, I'm prepping for England's strongest in February. Hey, like I said, man, first of all, I just want you to get back to being healthy, and then we can go from there. So plus with Carp says, plus with giant lifting, you can use a content creator code. The code stacks in the sale, so it takes it down to 238. So it's a pretty good deal on solid bench. Oh, well, hey, I don't have a code. So if you've got one, if you've got one, go ahead and put your code in the live chat and I'll put it there. I've got the link for the bench in the description for this video. So anybody who is listening on if you're listening to the audio version, you're going to go into the show notes and you'll see the link. And if you have a code CARP, then I will add that along with the description so that people can save money, and so it kind of gives you some credit because I don't have a code. Michael Vodre said I started my gym with adjustable dumbbells and a bench. Well, Michael, I actually so I started my home workout space with a wooden box that I bought from my previous employer because my first job out of college was working at a public gym, and so they had upgraded their step aerobics blocks from these wooden boxes to some Reebok steps, I think. And so I bought, and then they were selling the wooden boxes for like nostalgia purposes for anybody who wanted one for like $5. So I bought that. I bought one of those, and I used that as a bench and everything else. And then I went to Play It Again Sports, and I bought 2 70-pound dumbbells. They were fixed hex dumbbells, and that's how I started my first home workout space. Said my code is CARP. Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm putting CARP in the thing. All right, so there you go. So if you guys will go to the description for this video here on YouTube, then you will see the link to go to Giant Lifting, and along with that link, I'm actually doing it right now as we speak, so I don't forget. If you will go there, you will see the code that you can use to get a discount and hook yourself right up. Additionally, let's go ahead and I forgot to do this. While we're on the topic of stuff, go ahead and check out the shopping button. If you go down to the shopping button here, I'm actually adding it right now. If you click on the shopping button, you will see some of the there it is. Bam. All right, you'll see some of the products that we mentioned in the video. Specifically, I'll be talking about my roller J cups from Bells of Steel later on. And so you can click that shopping button and you'll be able to go check that out as well. And that will give me credit if you guys decide to click on that shopping button to purchase the roller J cups that way. All right. But more importantly, if you go down to, let's see, resources mentioned. Let's see. Oh man, I thought I put it in here. All right. So yeah, there we go. Make sure you are looking at, make sure when you go to get the Giant Lifting adjustable bench, and I'm putting it in this description right now. I did not anticipate doing this, so that's why I'm doing it on the fly. Let's see. Use code CARP to save at checkout. There we go. Bam. All right, I just updated the video, so now if you go into the show description, you'll see that link under. You just scroll down, you'll see resources mentioned, and you'll see it. All right, there we go. Take that down. All right, so let's move on now. All right, so now I mentioned Matthew Porter, and I said that, he and I have been talking, and he showed me some stuff that is coming out. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys now. So he sent me some updated pictures of his Eclipse grip, and you can get the Eclipse grip by going to porterpef.com. We talked about it on when he was on the show before, but here are the pictures that he sent me. So this is what it is. These are some more updated pictures here. Now, I will tell you that the final version, Matthew said that the final version of this will be anodized, so it'll be black. Okay. But this is what it looks like right now. And you can still, he's still taking pre-orders. So if you guys want to grab one for your home gym, you can grab one by going to, as I said, porterpef.com. I don't get paid anything for telling you this. I just think it's a good product. So in fact, so you go to porterpef.com, and let me share this. Let me take this off here. Share the screen again. All right. So you go to porterpef.com. They cost $75. This is a pre-sale. You want to get on the pre-sale. All right. So as I said, the final version is going to be black like this, roughly. So go ahead, place your order, and then that way you'll be in on the first. You'll be in the first batch of people to receive these handles during the pre-sale. And if you guys want, I will just put that link right there in the live chat. Check out. There you go. All right, no promo code because I'm not getting paid to tell you this. But it is also in the show description if you're watching on replay. And there's my guy Jared, who's also not getting paid to tell you this. He said, I've got the prototype, which is slightly different, but same functionality. Said it's a cool piece to have. I'm happy to have it. Yeah, man. I think it's once I saw it, I thought it was a pretty cool piece. I said, oh yeah. So if you're into bodybuilding style movements for your assistance work, or just if you train in a bodybuilding style and you like cable stuff, or you just want something different, a different stimulus, then I think that the Eclipse grip is a good thing to grab. And so go ahead, jump on that if that's what if you're interested in that. All right, let's keep on going. Move on to the next item. I said one more thing about the Eclipse grips. I said they're on pre-order. You're gonna get yours by January, okay? And then I don't know what the parameters would be for the next pre-order. So if you want to get them in your hands by early January, you want to jump on it now. That's kind of the point I was making. All right, there. Now I'm all caught up. All right. How aggressive is the handle? I'm assuming it's the handle on the Eclipse grip you're talking about, Eric. That is a question for Matthew was in the chat a little bit earlier. So I'll see if not, I'll shoot him a text. He might be teaching school by now, but I'll shoot him a text and ask him if he can come on and answer your question just in the chat. But Jared says he's got the prototype. So Jared, that's actually a good question. Could you answer Eric's question? Because I don't know the answer to that. I've not actually touched. I've just talked to him about it. I've not actually used it myself. So I'm texting Matthew right now. Oh, look at that. He heard me. He heard me say his name. There you go. So there's the answer. He said it'll be a medium neural. I didn't even have to text him. There you go. All right. So that's the answer. The handle is going to have a medium neural. So there we go. Take that off of there. Remove. Okay. All right. All right. So let's move on to the next item. First of all, and that is I tried my Bells of Steel roller J cups for the first time. So I was waiting for them to come in. They finally came in, and yeah, I like them. I like them. So let's go ahead. I'll show you guys. So this is what they look like when I had them mounted. All right. So this kind of gives you a nice little close up right there. See how smoothly it moves. One thing I don't like is you guys see how much let me play that again. You see how much the entire thing is moving when I'm rolling the bar. So this does protect your barbell, which I like, but I would like it if the roller moved a little bit smoother, a little bit more smoothly, so that the entire J hook would not move when I'm moving the bar like that, if that makes sense, right? I will prefer it if the entire hold on. All right, so you guys see this? So this is how, so it moves pretty smoothly, but when there's pressure from the barbell, especially if you load the barbell, what I'm looking for, I'll turn it this way. What I'm looking for is if I roll the bar this way and that way, as I'm centering it on my back, I don't want the J cup to move like that. That's the point of it being a roller. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't want the whole thing to move around while I'm moving it because I'm trying to get centered on the bar. and I'm trying to stabilize myself before I unrack. So I don't want to introduce another element of instability while I'm trying to get stabilized. Hope that makes sense. So that's the only thing that Carp said, yeah, that thing needs to be tighter or pinned in the back. Yeah, so let's actually I'll show you guys from the front. This was it. Take that off there. So you guys can see it, right? See how it's moving? Now, in fairness, let me pause. In fairness, let's see. Yeah. In fairness, this is not a Bells of Steel rack. Okay. So that's an iron bull strength rack. But the Bells of Steel attachments fit on it, right? So I am curious to see if I had a Bells of Steel rack that I mounted these on, if maybe the tolerances might be a little bit tighter, and then potentially I wouldn't have that problem. But you guys can see as I'm doing that right there, this is another thing I noticed. This is not a problem, it's just something I noticed. So I originally had sandwich J cups on there, and at that height, the sandwich J cups were perfect. Okay, and I'm even wearing shoes, and you guys know I don't squat with shoes on unless I'm in a competition. So I'm wearing shoes right there, and the height would have been perfect with the sandwich J cup, but with this roller J cup, it actually was a little bit too high, right? And so what I don't like, and even I'm wearing a hoodie, like I don't like having to do a calf raise to get the bar, to rack and unrack the bar. That's a safety issue, especially if you're training by yourself. You come up at the end of a squat and then you're tired and then you have to go rack it. That ain't cool. So that's something else. In fact, let's just switch to that. You guys see this? So it's got some weight on there. That's a little over 300. It's like 335, I think, at that 337. Whatever, about 337, something like that, on there. So I don't know if maybe even more weight might cause the J hooks to not move as much. All right, so that's what Matt. All right, so look at the unrack. Okay, that's not bad, but the problem is that when you get to the end, the bar has settled on your back a little bit, and so you see I actually have to shrug up a little bit to put the bar up. That's not good. So what I end up doing is probably I'm going to play around with the positioning a little bit, and probably I'll move it down one notch and just see if that's better. Because you also don't want to squat to unrack, if that makes sense. All right, so there we go. And let's check out the comment section, see what y'all said. So Carp said the attachments are 3.05 inches, which makes them a little sloppy, but they will fit almost any 3x3 rack. So if it's 3x3, it's still loose. If it's imported 2.97 by 2.97, it'll be even looser or sloppier. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't, like I said, I don't like. And that's going to be a bit of feedback that I give to them. I mean, I like them, but I would like for it to be a little bit tighter because, again, you're trying to stabilize yourself. You don't want to introduce another element of instability while trying to stabilize yourself, because you're actually in a fairly vulnerable position when you are racking and unracking, okay? Because if you think about it, now we're really nerding out. So if you think about it, when you go to unrack, you unrack, step back, and then you brace, right? So that means in the unrack, you're a little bit braced, but you're not like completely braced. And so there you go. That's a little bit of element of instability that you don't really need to have. So Carp said he has those on a Rogue True. Maybe I could say that. Rogue True 3x3, and it's still sloppy, but you can snug it up with UHMW tape or some felt or side Velcro. Yeah, I mean, I know I can. That's one thing is like I don't mind. I can fix it, but as much as possible, I like for when I do a review for a brand, because they sent these out to me, right? When I do a review for a brand, I try to give them feedback for them to, if they decide to take the feedback or not, but for them to improve the product, because technically they're the ones that's supposed to be improving their product. That makes sense? You're not supposed to sell me something. They're not supposed to sell something. Then I got to go home. Then I got to take it home and fix it. Right? That's why I paid you instead of me just making it myself. So that's just my general philosophy about products. And Carp said, I would like to see with a rear pin. So show you again. So yeah, I can see that. You stick it in the post and then you rack it down. And so you're saying you want to have a pin where? So that another rear pin, like maybe another one right here, so that it doesn't move? Or what are you talking about? Because once you stick it on, because you stick it in and you it's got to be free to rotate so you can actually put it on the post. But there's got to be something that you can do to get so that it doesn't move around as much. So yeah, but in general, man, I like it. All this is nice and smooth. It feels good. I like that. So here's a good one. So Home Gym Physique, what's up, man? Said rollers move that easily. Surely the bar will move instantly once grabbed. So that instant roll feature simply to avoid bar scrape brings instability. Doesn't make sense. Actually, it's not just to protect your bar. It's actually because when you're centering yourself, so I don't have another J hook to show you. I don't have a video of another J hook, but basically when you're, especially if you're lifting close to your max, right? You want to get the bar centered. It's tough to move the bar around on your back because again, this is more of a squat thing. But it also comes into play if you're benching, if you happen to use roller J cups when you're benching. So you're benching, and let's say if it's heavy. If it's not heavy, it doesn't matter. But if it's heavy, you're trying to move the bar so it's centered, right? Well, if you don't have rollers, the bar's going to drag a little bit. You're going to be using a ton of energy just to get a bar centered, right? And that's the reason for the roller J cup, is so that you can center the bar more easily. And you don't want to lift. I mean, unless you're doing it on purpose, you don't need to be lifting with an off-center bar. All right. So that's the reason for that. Says no, in the back of the piece that wraps around the upright and make those tiny little nub pins. Oh, I got you. Like a little, so you're talking about on this, have like a little nub that sticks out. Okay. Kind of like, not a cotter pin, but I know what you're talking about. That might work. That might work. Michael Vodre said a magnet. Yeah, that might do it too. A nice, powerful magnet. That might do it as well. So Bells makes the mini nub mag pins already on the sandwich J cups. So just look up those. All right, this is a great time to go to Bells of Steel. And of course, as always, I'm going to tell you that if you're going to go to Bells of Steel, make sure you use our affiliate code so that you can support the show while you're looking around and shopping. So let's see here, rack attachments, strength attachments, share my screen. All right, so let's scroll down. Sandwich J cup. All right. Actually, hold up. That might have been it right there. Like right there. I think that's what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, I see that. That might do it. All right, cool. All right. So I had a segment that we were going to do. We don't have time for React Respond. So what I'm going to do is push that to the end of the show. I'll just run the show a little bit long. If you guys want to hang around and we do React Respond after we're done with our guests for the day, but I don't want to run into my guest's time. So let's go ahead and let's skip this other stuff here, and we'll just come back around and we'll do React Respond later on in the day. So let's go ahead and first thing I want to do is see. So I did all that. Yeah. All right. So, all right. Let's get back on schedule and jump right into Recliner of Rage.
It's the recliner of rage.
It's the recliner of rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay, so I am not happy. And I'm going to say that at first I wasn't angry about this. I was actually discouraged. But then I got mad because I got discouraged, right? So let's tell you what happened. So I've got a pedometer app. It's actually called Pedometer Plus. Plus? It's got 2 pluses. If you look at it in the App Store, it's pedometer and then 2 pluses. So let's just say Pedometer Plus. And I've been using it for over a year now. And in general, I've been happy with it, right? Track my steps. It's pretty cool. And it's a useful tool. That's partly how I lost weight between first home gym con and the second. Well, then I went to California to see my son, and that's when, the bad things happen. So it's got a time zone feature, right? So you can either have a fixed time zone, or so basically no matter where you go, it's going to always be on your home time zone. Okay, that's the setting it's on now. Okay, but prior to this week, it was on variable. It was like on a variable time zone. Let me see what they call it on the app. And yeah, okay. It says use local time zone. So basically, the time zone would change whenever you change locations, which isn't a big deal if I go from Eastern time to Central time. And I've done that before, in the past year. Eastern time, Central time, it's just an hour's difference. No big deal, right? And so I have it set for, my goal is 10,000 steps a day. And I usually, when I'm here, at home, I hit that no problem, right? So that's just normal life, getting up, moving around, whatever. That's the idea. Well, we'll go to California, and there's like a 3-hour time difference. All right. So I still didn't skip any steps. And that's even though while we were there, my son got sick. And so I had to take him to the hospital. All right. He's fine now. But I had to take him to the hospital. So I spent time with him in the ER. Right. And it was actually Thursday. So I spent time in the ER with him, then came back, took an hour nap, and did the show. So last Friday when I did the show, I was doing it on an hour of sleep. Okay. But that's not the point. The point is that even with all of that, I still hit my steps, right? Came back here and it showed you've hit all your steps. I came back here to the East Coast and I look in there and it showed that only one day of the 3 days that I was in California, they counted my steps, right? So on 2 out of the 3 days, it said I didn't hit my step goal. And that really bothered me because I promised myself that this may not, actually, you guys probably get it because every one of us trains in some way. I mean, that's why you have a home gym, right? So each one of us has kind of made commitments to ourselves. Say, hey, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do this for my family. I'm going to do this for whoever, right? And I made a commitment to myself that I wasn't going to miss my step goal. All right. And I don't break promises to myself. And while I know in my head that I followed through on that commitment, when I look on there and I see this, I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so you can kind of see the green. See if I do that. There we go. That's easy. So that 4 and 15 is showing you how many steps I've got so far today. But if you look at the bottom, you see I was on track, right? And then all of a sudden, the oranges is where it says I didn't hit my goal. When I look on and I see that, it kind of just deflated me, man. And I'm not ashamed to tell you, I literally got deflated because I was like, it's one thing if I screw the pooch myself. But when I did what I was supposed to do, I followed through on it. and then you don't give me credit for it, that bothered me. So like I said, I got discouraged, and then I got mad because I was like, hold up, what's the point of even having the fixed time, the variable time zone, if you don't record it when you go back home, right? So basically it should have said, okay, you hit your goal when you're in that time zone. Boom, it's recorded, you hit your goal. It doesn't matter where you go. Each 24 hours should be separate, if you follow me, right? Instead of that garbage. So I'm able to shake back, okay? Because I've been doing this since 1993, okay? I've been in shape, gotten out of shape, been in shape, and I'm back on track, okay? But I'm thinking more about, what about somebody else, especially if they had just started? You know how easy it is to fall off the wagon when you first start any kind of fitness program? What happens if it's somebody else who's not able to do but they can't shake it off? I don't like that, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And people think that when I do these recliner rages, some of it is a little bit tongue in cheek, but I don't just bring up stuff to be mad about because I want to have something to talk about. It's really stuff that bothers me because it's stuff that's victimizing the people who are using the products and trusting it. And if you're using an app like that, you're using it. Nobody says, hey, I'm going to buy, because it's a paid app, right? Nobody's going to spend their money for something they don't need. I spent my money for you to give me a result, to help me stay on track, to keep me accountable. How you keep me accountable if you're not accountable? I don't like that. That's bad business. That's bad business. I do not like that. I don't like that. That's not right. That's not right. And I put a review on there, but they haven't. I put a review explaining a little bit more concisely what I just said. But I'm like, look, this needs to be fixed, man. You got people who don't do anything but do app development. All right. They show up, they go to work every single day. They work in the app development department. They work in the bugs and the update department. Instead of bringing out garbage features that I'm not interested in, I don't care about maps of places that I already know how to get to. I want you to fix the thing so it does what I pay for it to do. Otherwise, you're just taking my money, which makes you a thief. And that's not right. It's not right. That's stupid. Okay. That was a recliner rage. And I really am irritated about that. I don't know what you mean if I have to hit 88 miles per hour for the time to change. That sounds like some Back to the Future junk. Okay. 8.8 gigawatts. I don't know what that is. All right. I don't know. Carlos said, we're with you, brother John. You got every right to rage in this. I know, man. It's irritating. It's irritating. Like, seriously. Anyway, in fact, you know what, Michael? I'm glad you said that because that calmed me back down. That calmed me down so I can kind of come back to myself because this is a paid segment. So I'm supposed to now transition smoothly into telling you that if you don't want to be in the recliner rage, you need to check out my guy, Ashton, over at Freedom Fitness Equipment. And I'll go and show you right now. They've got a ton of stuff going on right here. The Black Friday clearance has been extended. You guys can hit them up either by coming to the website, freedomfitnessequipment.com, or you can literally call Ashton. These are all the ways. You can call him 980-216-4860. That's his actual phone number. You can put a little message in the contact thing. You can hit him up international WhatsApp. You can send him an email, whatever. Tell him what you want. Tell him you're trying to set up a home gym. He will hook you up and help you set up the best gym in town right there in your house. All right. Make sure when you do to let him know that Garage Gym Life sent you, because that would help a lot. Eric said 1.21 gigawatts. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Kurt says I'm an angry elf. Hey, I'm not short. Okay, let's pause. Now we're going to pause the show for a second for a public service announcement. Baby, no, hey, time for school. Get up. Get up. Time for school. All right, there you go. Come on. Get up. There you go. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Come on, baby. There you go. All right. I love you. There. Feet on the floor. We got positive. There, look at you. We're making positive change right now. There we go. There you go. There you go. All right. There. All right. Shut the door. Thanks, baby. Go ahead. Get ready for the day and then go grab your breakfast. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. This pause was dedicated to making sure my daughter got up for school. All right. Home Gym Physique had a question. I saw your question, but it wasn't exactly, I didn't want to lose my train of thought. So first, let's go ahead and say what's up to the Central Time Zone. And like Home Gym Physique said, we got over 400 video viewers and less than 50 video likes. I'm looking at it right now. We're about 255 concurrent viewers right now. Hit the like button. Come on now. Help me out. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers, so I need your guys' help for that. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and help me out, just like my man Home Gym Physique said. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Shout out to everybody in the Central Time Zone who has been rocking with me. Let's make sure my guest is ready to go. And while we wait, let's answer Home Gym Physique's question. All right. I have a question. In your opinion, which gym company has the best affiliate admin? So basically, which affiliate tech is the easiest to use? So you can answer this question later if you wish. All right. I think I'm fairly transparent. The only reason I won't say anything about something is if I am contractually prevented from saying something. Okay. So if I understand your question correctly, you're asking me from the standpoint of the content creator, which company is easiest to work with? And I would say that right now, the companies that have been the easiest to work with, not necessarily the companies that pay the most money, but just the ones that have been the easiest to work with for me have been Bells of Steel, and then RitFit was very easy for me to work with, because not only, and let's talk about some of my criteria as far as work with, right? And actually, RitFit, I don't have an affiliate thing with them, but so I just use that in the context of a brand deal in general. But what I like about RitFit is they were willing to work with me on a couple of things. So they were sending the product. So basically, they were sending some products out to me, and I was like, I don't think I'm the right fit for this. But at the same time, I was trying to help other people get started in terms of doing like product reviews and get started with content creation, right? So I told them, and I do this for a lot of people. I say, if you're trying to get started, you can make some videos and put them on my channel. And that'll kind of be like a soft launch for you. And then, at the end of every video, you tell people where to follow you and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, for that to work, the company's got to be willing to send the stuff to their address, not mine. And you'd be surprised at how many companies don't want to do that. I actually had a brand that were like, oh, no, we don't want to do that because we want to send all the stuff to you because we want to show, like, their plan was like at the end of a year, we would be able to show that your gym has nothing but our products in it, right? Well, that's not going to work if we send a leg press to this house and a power rack to this house and then this other thing to a different house, right? But RitFit was willing to do that, and so that was really cool with them. But as far as specifically companies with affiliate links, I'll tell you that Bells of Steel has been the easiest to work with. Fringe Sport was pretty easy to work with as well. And I know that people have said some good things. Tim from Gym Crafter is a big fan of the Rep Fitness affiliate program. Okay, I don't want to go too much into that because that's not I don't have a rep thing and I don't want to talk too much about Tim's business, but there's that. Carp has some affiliate codes. So he's actually got more affiliate codes than me. So he'd probably be a good person to chime in. And then also Jonathan, if you're watching still, Jonathan from NoFate 24/7 has some affiliate codes, and he can talk to you about that. But I will say that YouTube actually has a good affiliate program. The problem with YouTube's affiliate program, like, which goes back to the shopping button. I told you guys click the shopping button earlier. That's through the YouTube affiliate program. The problem with their affiliate program is that a lot of the companies that we like and trust, and this includes me, aren't in the YouTube affiliate program, right? And it's not necessarily small companies. So like Rep Fitness, last time I checked, Rep Fitness wasn't in the YouTube affiliate program, just for example. So I can't just look up Rep Fitness. So what happens when you upload a video, there's a thing that says one of the boxes to check is products that I mentioned in the video. And if you do a live stream, I know this is way in the weeds, but if you do a live stream, you can also, you click shopping, activate that, and you can link to the videos that are, to the products that are in the video. That's how they do like those live shopping videos and things like that, right? They call it shoppable video. But a lot of they got a bunch of like, they have a overly high concentration, in my opinion, of products from janky companies. Let's just say that. But Bells of Steel is a reputable company that is part of the YouTube affiliate program. And so that's why, you guys will see Bells of Steel stuff. If you go to my videos, typically especially if it's a workout video, I'm typically using a Bells of Steel product in it. The Bare Naked Powerlifting bar is my favorite bar to use. So most of my videos where I'm doing anything with a bar, it's a Bells of Steel bar. And I'll click that shopping link will take you to grab that. So that was kind of a long-winded answer, but yeah. Okay, so he said, I mean the back end of the affiliate program, not the company in general, but affiliate program, which a company uses to help creators earn commissions. So I think I kind of answered that with the YouTube thing because, like I said, YouTube has their own platform. But again, Carp is better at answering that than me because he's got more affiliate codes than I do. And he said most use Post Affiliate Pro or Share Sale platforms. So there you go. And I know that there are more comments about it, but I promise you, there's nothing that people who are watching this want to hear less about than affiliate programs. So what I would recommend, you guys keep on talking about it. If something like comes up, I'll put it on whatever, but there you go. So yeah, and I see that you and Carp are having a conversation about it. So perfect. All right. So we are waiting. Okay. I do not see, hang on a second. I don't see you. So let me, let me help Jetter out. Go to my inbox here. All right, so there we go. So I just sent him, he's trying to get, so Jetter, my guest, is trying to get in. And so I just sent him the link. So let's go ahead into that. And while we wait for him to come on, I'll keep on there. And let's take this off of there. Good. All right, anyway, so once Jetter is ready to go and he comes in, then we'll jump right into it. What is this? Let's get rid of it. I'm cleaning up some of this stuff here. All right, perfect. All right, cool. All right. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm caught up on the caption thing, on the comments. Manicure sandwich. I think so. You said Manicure Sandwich J cups are the ones that have that little thing. And by the way, as far as I'm going to be doing the review of the Roller J cups. Probably going to be working on it this weekend and a little bit next week. I just want to be able to have a little bit more time to play with it so I can make the adjustments that I talked about. I don't like doing review videos if I've only had something for a week. I want to have some time. I want to be able to spend time with the product. So at the same time, though, I want to make sure that I'm answering the questions that you guys want to know. So if you're watching on replay or live or whatever, make sure you're putting if you have questions specifically about the Roller J Cups, put them in the chat for me or put them in the comments, and then I'll see those comments and I will use those comments as part of, like I've done for a few videos in the past, I'll use those comments to help guide the review. So I'm answering the questions that you want to know about these Bells of Steel Roller J Cups. Okay, so go ahead and let me know what you want to know, and we'll do that. Okay. All right. So it looks like Jetter is still trying to get on. So I'm gonna go back to React Respond. I think we got time to React Respond, and let's do this one because it's a little bit easier than the other one. Yeah, we'll do this one. All right, so this is React Respond, and React Respond is basically I show you something and then we talk about it, okay? And so in this first one, I want to know, what do we think about the tornado pivot arm from GetRxd? All right, so let's see if this is it. There's a tornado pivot arm. Let's see if I can't get this thing here, and I'll throw it up. Throw it up, throw it up. Yeah, that's it right there. All right. No, we're not trying to show that. Trying to get this thing. There we go. All right. So let me screen share right now. Bam. All right. If you guys haven't seen it, this is the tornado.
The RX3 series is leveling up, and you're getting an. The RX3 series is leveling up, and you're getting an exclusive first look, introducing the Tornado Pivot Arms, engineered for ultimate adaptability and precision, giving you complete control over every workout. Featuring 4-way adjustability, they slide along the upright, rotate 180 degrees horizontally, adjusting 90 degrees vertically, and swivel 360 degrees at the cable end. You have unmatched control to hit every angle and perform your workouts with precision and versatility.
All right. Okay, so that was the tornado pivot arm. So now I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on their website, and let's go ahead and just talk about, what we think about it. All right. And if GetRx, when GetRx gets the notification from YouTube that I used part of their video, hey, that was free advertising. Okay. So yeah, hopefully they don't demonetize this part of the dang video because of their music, but I wanted to show you guys what it actually looked like in use. All right. So this is the tornado pivot arm. Jared says, from first glance, I think these are the future of functional trainers. Thinks it's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the idea that it's not just, one fixed piece, right? It retails for $2,448, and that includes 2 tornado pivot arms. So it's basically one for each side. Then you get 2 200-pound weight stacks. So basically everything that you see here is going to be included. All right. And then they've got measurements. If you go to the GetRx.com and go to the tornado pivot arm, I've got the link for that in the description for this video. If you go there, you'll see that it's basically got measurements to help you, so you can figure out if this is something that you can add to your rack, because this is designed to be added to your current power rack. So you get your current power rack, get the measurements for your power rack, and then you could add this attachment to your power rack, right? So you don't need to, theoretically, you wouldn't need to buy a GetRxd power rack in order to be able to attach the Tornado pivot arm set to it, if that makes sense. All right. So that is that's the good side. Now let's talk about it. Do you think that the cost, what do you guys think of the cost? What do you guys think of the product in general? Yeah, let's what do you guys think of it? I think it's interesting. I think it's something that I'm looking at the measurements, right? And I'm trying to picture it with my power rack. Like, how much further does that then extend the rack, right? And let me see something here. I want to see. So it looks to me like, I don't know if you guys see my pointer, but it looks to me like the cable comes up right behind the trolley, which I don't like for space reasons, but it looks like they've got a significant gap between this post and between the trolley. Now, if I'm wrong and this comes up on the side, then hey, perfect. But it looks to me, and even the side shot doesn't really tell me anything. Yeah, it's not really telling me what I want to know. Yeah, that doesn't help at all. Yeah, all right. So anyway, so that's the big thing that I don't like about anything like that is when the cable comes up, I don't like that if it's going to come up right behind the trolley, because to me, there's not enough room. You can move it further back, but then that means that you're going to need to make that whole system a little bit bigger. And I just personally don't like that. All right. So there you go. You guys drop a comment. Let me know what you think. What do you guys think of the Tornado pivot arms? Have you seen them before? Is this something that interests you that you might think about adding to your own home gym? You know what I say?
Drop a comment and tell me what you think. I want to know.
That's right. I want to know. So drop a comment. All right. Jetter. I saw Jetter, but now I don't see him. So Jetter, he's back. Okay. I see. He's teasing me. All right. Okay. It looks, so are you ready to go? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. All right, cool. So we're going to bring on my guy, Jetter. It took a little bit to get him on here, but we powered through it. Okay. You know why? Because he's farmer strong. Welcome to the stage. What's up?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Do me a favor and turn your phone sideways. Bam! Look at that. You know you're too wide to be and you got to cut off the I'm getting the echo. Yeah. So
yeah.
Like you can't, if you had the video, if you were watching the video and if you're watching the video and in the then you're gonna get an echo because you're gonna hear me twice. While I like myself, I don't like myself that much. So like if you're watching the video on YouTube or something, then so were you watching the video on YouTube or Facebook first?
I was earlier.
Okay, yeah. So just make sure you exit out of that. Whoa, hey, where'd you go? Just make sure you exit out of close the YouTube video.
Okay, that better?
Let's see. Yeah, we did it. Look at that. Man, you tell me we can't do something. We're American. We can do anything.
I was trying to do it on my iPad, but I couldn't get it to work.
Hey, that's all right, man. It's like, yeah, we're American. We can do anything. We sent somebody to the moon a bunch of times just to show we could. That's how we run it over here on this continent. All right. All right, man. Hey, look, I appreciate you taking time away from the farm to come hang out with me.
Yeah.
That's see what here we got. Somebody said, I think this is this your first interview you've done?
Yeah, I guess back not long after I got started, I had a person or two ask me to do one, but I just am
You're like,
not
nah.
that type of person. But I felt like hopping on here with you. So
Hey, man, hey, I feel special and I appreciate it. All right. So let's jump right into it. Because I want to introduce everybody to you. All right. So anybody who doesn't know Jetter, you've been competing in powerlifting since when I looked, it said that your first meet was the USPA South Carolina State Open. That was February 25th, 2017. And in case you don't remember, you posted a 617-pound squat that day, a 363-pound bench, and a 633-pound deadlift. And then your highest total to date was at the USPA Raleigh Ruckus. And there you posted a 633-pound squat, 424.4. I don't want to cheat you. 424.4 pound bench and a 711-pound deadlift. So looking at your numbers, you've been consistently in that general range. You know, you've had a couple injuries along the way, but you've been kind of consistently in that general range. Do you think that is that partially because, I mean, working on a farm is physically demanding? So you think that impacts your ability to get stronger? Or at least display the strength? It's not that you're not stronger, it's that it's harder to show it on game day because, you know, you throwing feed bags and stuff all day.
You know, I guess it's hard to answer that question. Well, a bunch of the questions you have to really think about that you sent me, but you know, you see people that are in the very high level, like top few lifters or so, like Dan Bell. You know, from what it sounds like, he's got a pretty manual job too. So I think you can use it as an excuse to not get stronger, but I also think that's what helped me start at a higher level. You know, some of the guys going to my gym now are in the 1,500 pound total range that were at that meet with me. And, you know, I think that's what made me start a little bit higher, just growing up on the farm, and all your little muscles like your rotator cuffs and all the little, you know, shoulder muscles and stuff, I had been using them for all of my life. So they didn't need as developed as much, I guess you could say.
So one thing I can say that work doing a farm is it's good for GPP, right? So for anybody who doesn't know, that's general physical preparedness. So it's funny because, and I want to get your opinion of this, right? It's funny because like whenever you look at like those like a CrossFit workout or strongman or something, and they're like, well, we're gonna do some GPP. It basically just looks like your normal day. You just look at it and be like, oh, okay. And I know y'all are probably like, hey, you ain't got to do all that. Just come on over to the farm and I'll put you to work and then I'll get you right. So is that kind of like what it is? It's like you show up ready for just about anything, but I'm talking about being able to show that specific strength on the platform is like, okay, but you're tired, I guess is
Right.
what, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I was looking at it. Like, it's like you're tired.
Yeah,
Are
and I
you
get
do weight cuts and stuff like that?
No, I've only done it one time just so I could have the experience, but
And apparently you're like, that's enough of that. I ain't doing
that. Yeah.
Like, when does your normal day start?
I normally leave the house so my wife leaves the house with 3 kids going one direction, and that's at 7 o'clock. And I can't drop the baby off until 7:30, so I leave about 7:10.
Okay. But then your day is long because I know you posted on your Instagram, shout out to all the wives who know, like, who are like the farmer's wife, and you don't know if 6 o'clock means 6 o'clock or if it means 9 o'clock or 10
That's
o'clock.
right.
Because the day is done when the day is done, not when you want to just stop.
Yeah, but a lot of that's how many kids I've got too, with 4 kids. So
Mm,
I just like for example, Tuesday and Thursday I take my daughter to gymnastics, and then we
okay.
get home at 7:45 and do homework, and then I go back to work because I hadn't been there for a couple hours, and then
Right.
or like this week, I think I've been in the bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock one time this week, and the other 3 days it was closer to 11 or 12. So
Dang, Jetter, you staying up late clubbing? What's going on here? Come on, man. Hey, calm down. You gotta relax. So, Jared said you should consider getting into grip since you're already farm boy strong. You're using your hands a lot. I know you did one strongman competition. Have you done any grip competitions?
No, I've never done a grip competition.
You probably show up and just win the whole thing and be like, they'll like
I
tell
don't
you
know
how to
about
do it.
that.
You be like this?
That's one. So, the Kendall and them guys that go to my gym, that's one thing they've always said that impressed them the most about me is my grip strength, and without really training it much. So,
I guess. I mean, well, because it's okay. Let me back up a little bit because I said you got a farm and all that, but I didn't specifically get into it. So you have a chicken farm, right?
right.
Okay. Is it just chickens, or do you have other livestock on there?
So my family's been farming since 1810 on the same
Okay.
piece of property. My daddy does corn, wheat, and soybeans. He used to do tobacco,
Okay.
and I'm the first person that had the chicken houses, so I built them 8 years ago.
So you put the chickens on the same piece of property, like to just add. So
No,
it's like an additional thing.
no, I bought a new piece of property and built 6 chicken houses. It's a commercial thing. So I don't
Gotcha.
have
Okay.
just a couple chickens. And I know you mentioned eggs and milk and stuff, and I don't have eggs. My chickens don't lay eggs. I grow
Oh, they're
over
like
3.
roasters,
Yeah, they're broilers.
rollers. Okay.
So whenever they pick them up, they're between 3.5 and 5 pounds. And
Okay.
I grow over 3 million chickens in a year.
Okay. Yeah. My grandfather had a chicken farm. Here we go. So for anybody who's watching the show for the first time, there's a lot of tangents, okay? Because I'll end up telling stories and things like that. So my grandfather had a chicken farm, and while I did not spend a ton of time there because this was in West Africa, I ended up moving to the States when I was very, very young. But I still remember like going on the chicken farm. He had chickens, he had hogs, and he started out with chickens though because he had egg layers. And his thought was like he saw how fast they laid eggs. He said, "Oh well," and then he saw how much eggs cost in the store. He said, this kind of makes sense. I just keep them fed. They'll keep me fed. And it kind of worked out. But I asked you that question about eggs. And for everybody watching, what I asked him was my first job out of college was at a public gym. I've said this to people a bunch of times. It was at a public gym. And there was a guy, we had like one of those guys. He was like, like, there's the thing is like, okay, like you got at the gym, you got like your steroid dealer, right? He's the guy, he's a gym rat. He's always there all day. He's wearing a do-rag for some reason, even though, nobody else, he's the only one with a do-rag. All right. He's got a do-rag. He's got those ugly pants, all that kind of stuff. Right. So this was that guy, but he wasn't selling steroids. He was selling eggs. So he had like, I don't know where he's getting the eggs from. Like literally, this probably horrified the FDA if they heard about it. They're like, he bring these eggs in. I mean, they were in cartons, but they're just in his gym bag. So he just bring these eggs in his gym bag. And we're all like, man, these are good. We're like eating that because they're fresh. So they tasted better than the eggs you get in the store. And I just remember we're like lined up here. Here he comes. His name was Hollywood. There's a whole lot to go with the story, right? So his name is Hollywood. Here comes Hollywood wearing the Zubas. And he come in, say, hey, you need eggs? He's taking orders, right? So every Monday, here comes Hollywood with his gym bag full of eggs. And he just handing them out to everybody. Like, oh, I'm going to go put these eggs in the car. That's just the most random thing. But I thought of it as soon as I saw you had a chicken farm. I said, oh, this dude got a potential side business. Okay, here we go. All right. So now y'all know something about, and then the milk thing is because raw milk is the only kind of milk I can drink. my body won't process the milk that they sell in the store. So I was just curious if like you had access to it. You don't necessarily have it on your own farm,
No.
but I'm assuming there's other farms around you. So is that part of your normal diet? Like you just eat like farm fresh food?
No, it's not. But I have been wanting to get me some of the raw milk just to start drinking and stuff.
Yeah.
But technically, and I don't know, it might be a state thing, not in a nation.
I know what
thing.
you're about to say.
Yeah, it's illegal to sell the milk. So,
Yes.
But you can give the person a donation and they can give you the milk, maybe.
See, look at you. Okay, so we got a question, and now Jetter's got me gonna have me telling stories all day here. All right. None of this stuff is stuff that I was supposed to be asking you, but now you got me. All right. First of all, Jared wants to know: are you a dark or a white meat kind of guy when you eat chicken?
I'm a dark meat guy. It's got more flavor, more juices.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Just be like, hey man, I'm a Christian. We eat dark meat. All right. Anyway, Christopher Wichtl wants to know the secret of how he can get farmer strong. Also, it looks like he's wants to know when he can come to the farm. Now, I want you to understand that Chris has some dietary requirements. So make sure you got tons of food when he shows up. All right, I'm just gonna tell you, don't just say yes. Okay, there's some serious dietary requirements for this dude. Okay,
yeah. So
that's it. Jared says dark is the way to go. That's right. Yeah, we're a straight up dark meat organization. That's what we're into. No Diddy. All right. Anyway, so back to the thing about the raw milk. So this is when I moved to Georgia, right? We met some people who had a connection to a guy that could get you some raw milk. And for anybody who doesn't know, so like you hear the stories about people being like, like people, you go up on a farm and they're like, oh, you never get sick. And they're like, yeah, I've never been sick a day in my life, right? So a lot of that's because they're drinking raw milk, right? So anyway, but as you said, it's illegal to sell raw milk to human beings. So it's like, oh, it's for pet consumption, whatever, right? So this is years ago. So we meet these people and they say, yeah, we can get you some raw milk. And I'm like, okay, how, whatever. Because like I said, I'm lactose intolerant. So they give me the raw milk and they said, just try it. You should be okay. I taste it. I said, first of all, it's sweet. Raw milk is sweet. Like compared to the milk that's been pasteurized, because the enzymes are all still in it, right? So I'm like, oh, shoot, this stuff is good. And then I noticed I didn't get any stomach upset. I said, oh, this is perfect. Let's get some more. So what would my wife would have to do? Okay, because they knew her, they didn't know me because she knew him from work. She'd have to stop by on her way home from work. And there's like a little building on their farm. You go up to the building and they got jugs of milk in there. And you just go in and you leave the money, right? I'm not gonna say how much it was. You just leave the money somewhere. There's like just a little random thing. Nobody's there, but they can kind of see that you've gone into the house. And after you're gone, then they'll come down and collect the money. So you just leave the money there. You grab your milk, and then you leave, right? And the way we found out about it all, this is gonna make you laugh. The way we found out about this place was at our feed store where we got our stall mats for our home gym. And the guy was like, oh yeah. And he first of all, he vetted us to make sure we weren't from the feds. And then this sounds more and more sketchy the longer I tell the story. He made sure we weren't feds. And he gave us the information. And then probably about 5 years after we've been getting raw milk from these people, no problems at all, somebody got mad at him and narked on him. So the government raided their farm and seized all of the raw milk. I'm not making this up. They seized the raw milk, and that was the end of me drinking milk. Because, yeah. And so there you go. And I definitely ain't going to do it anymore. Now I just put it on the internet and I was drinking raw milk. Because I am not drinking raw milk. Whoever's watching it, and I don't even know where to get any. All right, there you go. Keep me out of trouble.
There's actually a website where you can look up where you can get raw milk for your pets.
Oh, for my pets?
Yeah, or whatever.
Is that right? Okay. We may need to have this discussion at some point.
Yeah.
Raw milk for pet consumption only. I'm not kidding you, man. He's just like, why do you even care about? But whatever. So yeah, you know what? Let's just stop now before the feds raid my house. And let's talk about something completely different. You had a few coaches over your career. When did you link up with Clint Darden?
So I didn't realize how many powerlifters he coached until recently, but
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah. But he I went to him when I decided to do the strongman thing, and well, I was with Seth Albertsworth, which are good friends with him, and Seth did my back rehab when I herniated a disc, and I always include prayer in that story because prayer works. But
that's right.
anyways, after I got done with Seth, we did one meeting. It wasn't my best or nothing, but it was good enough where I knew I felt like I could compete again.
Okay.
And I went to watch World's Strongest Man at Myrtle Beach, which is only an hour from me. And after that, I said, I'm going to give strongman a shot. And that's when I did.
Hold up a second. Let me back you up. Hold on. You went and you watched World's Strongest Man, and you said, heck, that looks like my normal day. All that stuff they're doing looks like what I do anyway. You mean you can win money for this? Yeah. Let's keep it accurate. Okay, go back. Go ahead. Finish your story. All right.
And so I did strongman. I did two or three competitions. I can't remember. And then I decided to jump back into powerlifting. So
I got you. So how did, in all seriousness, how did competing in strongman, did that help you, or do you think it hurt you in terms of powerlifting? Because I think from what I can tell, I've never done strongman, but from what I can tell, it raises your level of raw strength, but because the rules are slightly different for like something like the deadlift, maybe your technical proficiency isn't as high. But what would you say? Because like I said, I've never done it. I've never done strongman.
So that's one of the reasons I like powerlifting better, or came back to powerlifting. In strongman, you had all these events to try to get ready for, and my body's beat up more than it should be at 32. And I didn't push myself when I was doing strongman, not like I do when I'm doing powerlifting. You're only doing 3 lifts, and you can push those 3 lifts a lot harder than you can 5 or 6 lifts that you're trying to prepare for. So just me personally, I like competing in strongman better, but that's only 3 or 4 days out of the year. As
Right.
You're training for powerlifting 4 or 5 days a week. So I enjoy training for powerlifting way more than I enjoy training for strongman.
So let's just let's just, for the sake of what people are this is like what your, let's pull up some of your stuff right here. I like to show people what we're talking about a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is your home gym, correct?
Right.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. So it says that you kind of expand. Let's say you had an expansion. So that's it right there. How many days a week do you train?
4.
4 days a week. Okay. That's actually a little bit more than I expected because, like I said, you got a really demanding occupation. I mean, literally just feeding the chickens by itself is tough.
So if you want to talk about that a little bit, I guess, growing up, Daddy always gave us busy work like what you're talking about. But then once I become, the owner,
once you were in charge,
yeah, then it's not as bad as you think it is. So
okay.
And plus, nowadays everything's just so, you got so much technology and everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything at the chicken houses is automated for the most part, unless something breaks or whatever. So
okay. So what's the toughest part of your job in terms of is it just how long the days are?
Yeah, I guess that's probably part of it.
Okay.
Which, if I didn't work out, then that 2 hours I could pop. You say you'll cut it off of your day, but you won't. You'll end up working more is what you end up doing. But I guess, there's turbos we put out to put out extra feed when the chickens are real little, and it's sort of like a bowl, and as they eat out the bottom of the bowl, more feed runs down so they can eat off the plate again. And whenever you cut those off around day 10, you have to pick all those up, and there's probably 400 in a house. So bend over, pick a couple up, and then hang them on the wall. something like that's probably the hardest part.
You just said 400, so that's 400 stiff-legged deadlifts.
That's right.
Hey, what's up? Look at that. Just like that, views are gonna go up. Just like that. So let's go back to Clint Darden. What's been the biggest impact in your training from having Clint Darden? And for anybody who doesn't know who Clint Darden is, you first of all show yourself some love and go follow. I think his @Clint.Darden. I'll put the link in the that doesn't bother me. I'll put the link for Clint Darden's in the show description. But what's been the biggest impact in your training from having a coach like Clint?
It's hard to pinpoint something like that, but I guess it's all the little things and all the tips and tricks. I feel like you can find a normal person such as me maybe that can program pretty decently to get you strong, but I feel like the separation with coaches like him's helping with rehab, prehab stuff even. He can help with nutrition, he can help with all of it. So that's it's the little things, and it's hard to sit here and think about what those little things are because you incorporate them into your life, and then you just
that's just how you live now. So you're like, oh
right.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I know that I actually went on his website, not website. I went on his Instagram when I was first getting the questions together to send you to kind of like get you like so you can kind of figure out so you have an idea what we're going to talk about. And I wasn't on there that long before I was like, just like that, like he said something that I was like, like a bar, as the kids say, where he was like he was talking about, he said basically one way that you know somebody's a good coach is if you ask them a question like, hey, what's the one thing I can do? Or what are the 3 things I need to do now? He said, whenever somebody's not a good coach, like they'll say, hey, these are the 2 things you need to do to fix your squat. Right. And he's like, that's actually not right, because whenever you get somebody who's a real coach and you ask them, hey, what do I need to do to fix my squat? They're going to say, it depends. Yeah. He says, so the real answer is it depends. And then he breaks it down and says, it's not a cop-out. It depends, because he's like, for example, he says, your 80%, if I tell you, okay, you need to do this at 80%, right? He said, but your 80% isn't going to be the same as somebody who's been training, let's say 20 years. So right. Like my 80% and Chris Duffin's 80% ain't the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. Hey, I promise you, there are people who want to listen to her, not me. So it don't bother me at all. That's the star of the show right there, man. Look at that. I can prove it. Look at that. How I bet you she can grab anything and Daddy was like, okay, you can have it. That's fine. Hey, yeah, my wife and I got 5. 4 grown up and out. Yeah, 4 of them are grown up and out of the house, and one and I just sent one to school with her grandmother. So about 45 minutes ago. So yeah, like I said, that doesn't bother me a bit. But yeah, so Clint Darden is like I think it's kind of like you're just around somebody, and it's kind of like the more you're around them, the more it's like, oh, whoa, you just realize that he just said something that was like wisdom, and he was just making conversation, and you didn't even realize, oh man, I need to write that down. And
that's exactly right.
Yeah, and he didn't even realize what he just said. You're just right. Like, hey, say that again. Say what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're like, say what? Do you have plans on doing another strongman show anytime in the future?
I'm not going to say that I won't, but I consider doing South Carolina Strongest again in April, but with the pick, I won't be doing that. So I'm not going to rule out strongman, but there's no plans to do it, I guess.
Okay. So speaking of the pec, I mentioned that you had a pec tear when I was talking at the beginning of the show, and people were like, man, they're like, I hear the word pec tear and I start wincing, and I strained my pec. So when I saw you do it at the Shack Showdown, I was like, oh, like I just felt sympathy pains, right? So talk about what was going on leading up to the injury. Did you hurt yourself? And didn't so what happened to me is I hurt myself in training, and I was like, well, this is my last meet for a little bit, so I can just tough it out. I'll just deload now. I'll take some time off, and then I should be fine and then I play it by ear when I get to the meet, right? And I get to the meet, and on my opener, I strained my pec. So was that what happened with you, or was it kind of like you had no idea and it just happened?
I strained my pec during training. And so I guess that's probably what it's all tied to, But I felt like it was good enough to do the meet. And I don't know, it wouldn't bother me the last couple of days or the last couple of weeks leading up to training. I was able to get a couple of weeks of good benching, but then when I went to the meet and I was warming up, it was I thought warm-ups were moving as good as they've ever moved, probably. I really thought
man. So you thought it was like, I'm about to go out there and do this. And you had a good day of squats too. You're like, it's about to be on. Yeah.
I wasn't happy with my squats, to be honest. But
okay.
And then but I don't know, I just squats, I was dealing with a hip flexor issue the whole time during training.
Oh, I got you. Hey, and by the way, remember I told you that people are going to care more about the baby than about us, right?
Yeah.
So this whole time we've been talking, right? And here come the comments. Cute kid. Cutie pie. Nobody cares about all this other stuff we're talking about. And they're like, hey, where's the kid go? Nobody cares about it. All they want to talk about was the milk and then when your daughter came on. So hey, I get it, man. I understand. But all right, so you said you were dealing with a hip flexor issue on the squats.
Or that's what I think it is, hip flexor.
Okay. And then so you did your squats, then you go into the bench and it was moving well. And just talk me through it.
And then so I did 380 something on the first, I think the second attempt I did 414, just going to take a small PR on the third and missed the second. And it was like mind blowing to me. Like I expected it to move amazing.
Right.
And I was like, what in the world? But had no pain or nothing. So took it on the third and just everything fell apart from there.
Yeah. So you're back to training. In fact, let me see if I can't pull this up here. So this is your last training session or most recent one that you posted on Instagram that you shared. It's the one you shared with me. Right there. All right. So this is a reverse band. And this is about roughly 2 weeks after the pec test. So this was about a day ago. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So now that how you feeling? That's like the biggest thing is how you feeling after the training. You know what I mean? Like a couple of days after. Like how's your body feeling?
It feels good, and I'm doing a form of bench pretty much every day.
Okay.
Just, obviously not heavy. So the idea behind the reverse bands, in case nobody knows, is so when you're doing any sort of rowing, you're moving your pec, but you're not contracting your pec.
Right.
So, the reverse bands, you're doing a row on the way down, which is making you work the pec, and then it's helping pull the bar back up. So,
yeah, so I do a version of that with it's actually a little bit more complicated setup that you got going on there. I was like, wait a minute, why am I been doing all this weird stuff when I could have just done that? So I'm actually taking notes now. I was like, that's not a bad idea. Because I usually use the way that I do it, I wasn't able to use a actual barbell. I was having to use a D handle. A D handle is actually a cable attachment. So yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm still in it. But anyway, I think that you said when we're talking, you said that you had some stuff that was actually helping you in terms of, obviously getting better. So one of this is obviously that you're getting blood in and out of the muscle, right? And I think that's one of the things that people don't realize. Like you get hurt, you want to just stay still. You're like, oh, it hurts to move. but your
Right.
body, you need to move because that's going to speed up the healing process.
And that's where Clint and Seth, where their knowledge, where I've been dealing with them. As soon as I got in the car on the way home, I started trying to put my TENS unit on my pec and stuff just to move it as much as possible.
Okay.
That's those things where on every day you don't think about it, but then you realize, oh, I got that knowledge from them, and that's why,
right. So you like the TENS unit? Do you use it all the time?
I don't use it all the time, but for something like my pec, I'm trying to use it as much as possible.
Okay.
Because that's the same. The way I've been told, that's the same idea. It's not necessarily about, I guess, contracting the pec, but the TENS unit is doing it without you doing it. So
right.
That's how you can get away with it, I guess.
So for anybody who, for some reason, doesn't know what a TENS unit is, that's basically those things that they put on you at the chiropractor, and it makes you your muscles contract. Do you do any kind of like compression stuff?
I hadn't done much of it as far as I did put floss on there one day.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on that.
Okay.
I think the body tempering, I enjoy that a lot more. I don't know if you would put that in the category of compression or not.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. It's like compression under load. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I'm asking you all this stuff because lifters don't trust medical doctors. I noticed the first thing you didn't say anything about I went to the doctor, right? Because we don't trust them because and this is probably not fair to doctors, but I'm just telling you how we feel. If you're watching, this is how we feel. All right. It feels like the doctor spends most of his time trying to remove everything from our life that brings us joy. So anything we like is like, yeah, you need to stop doing that. You shouldn't lift so heavy. You don't need to eat that. Whatever, right? Okay. So we don't trust them. But at the same time, there's all these suspect, and I can admit it, there's some pretty suspect home remedies that you can kind of find on the internet. Like we weren't even 20 minutes into our conversation, and you were telling me about where to get raw milk on the internet. So, I'm just saying, if you get on the dark web, you can find a whole bunch of different things that people have tried. And for some reason, most of the remedies come from the feed store, right? Like I remember I had some liniment. You ever use like Jack's Blue Heat?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't find it the other day when I went to get some.
To the feed store. Okay, there you go, right? So I got some, right? And my wife comes in and I'm like putting it on. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good stuff. My wife is like, what are you putting on yourself? And she's like, why is there a horse on that bottle? And I said, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that. But as I said, it's like there's some of that stuff is suspect, right? So what would you say are the strategies that you're using that are helping you the most right now in terms of just feeling better and speeding up your recovery?
So for the swelling, I used DMSO and
that stuff's nasty tasting, but
yeah, and Cassie said I started stinking, and like she didn't even want to lay beside me in the bed. And then, by the time she smelled it, I stopped it, but it took 2 or 3 days for it to get out my system, so I was stinking everywhere I was going. And then I used Thermoflex, which is just a liniment, but it's it gets a lot hotter than icy hot and stuff.
So DMSO, I started using it when I was fighting because they would put it on. It'll break up. So it's a solvent, and so it like breaks up bruises and stuff. Oh yeah. So we're not medical doctors, and we're not giving out medical advice. So before you do any of the stuff you hear us say, go talk to your doctor and all the other stuff that people say to stay out of trouble. All right. Anyway, but so DMSO, I had bruises because we were doing we're training Muay Thai, and when you first start, like your shins are get really, really bruised, and so they had us take some DMSO, and it tastes like the nastiest thing in the world, but it works. Like it breaks up all the bruises and stuff. So how long after you got injured did you start taking it?
I think it was 4 days or so before I was able to find it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I took it for about, 7 days or so until the swelling was gone.
Okay.
But I never got the taste in my mouth that people talk about. Mine just stunk. Now,
Okay.
she'd smell it on my breath and on my skin, but
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
had the taste to it.
It's horrible. And okay, and for the sake of people, like, we're not eating it, but I put it on my shin and I tasted it in my mouth. All right, because it's a solvent and it's nasty. It's horrible. But yeah, but it does work.
And like
I-
just back to the Clint thing in a little while. So
Yeah.
he sent me as soon as I got hurt. I texted him and he sent me a whole list of things of what I could do to help it,
Okay.
get better. And one of the things was you take it since it's a solvent, you can put it on your arm or your
Yeah.
pec or whatever, and take a aspirin and rub it in that area, and then the aspirin will supposedly go into that area specifically
Oh,
before it's dispersed into the rest of your body.
I've never heard that. That actually makes sense. I like that. Okay. Okay. See that I'm write that one down too. Okay, I like that. All right.
And he cares more than most people. Like nobody cares about he cares about my training more than I do. That's why he
Nice.
stayed up late that night putting that email together, sending it to me.
Yeah, I mean, because he lives on the island of Cyprus. Now, I mean, he comes to the States because like he did I don't know how long ago, but he did a table talk with Dave Tate, Elite FTS. So he was obviously in the States for that.
I went to Elite FTS that weekend.
Okay. How long ago was that?
July.
Okay. So he was obviously in America for that, right? So he does come to the States, but especially with the injuries that he's had and the health issues he's had, just the fact that he gives so much to lifters that he's training, and he does stuff with special needs kids and all that. So he's really an inspiring. Actually, I'd like to interview him. He's one of the people that's on my bucket list to interview. So yeah, he's I like his stuff. Have you guys picked out another meet, or are you just pretty much going to just focus on rehabbing?
I was planning on focusing on rehabbing and then going and doing the same meet, a year apart, and sort of get like a revenge thing. But
I got you.
The guys are doing one at Odin's Fury in March.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might jump in that one and just take a token bench. I hadn't decided.
So we're actually negotiating now to live stream that. So if you do it, then I'll get to. I should be there. I'll be able to live stream it. Then again, the last time I live streamed, you got a pec tear, so maybe I don't need to be there. You stay away. I don't know. Oh God, no, it's not mane and tail. That's for you. Mane and tail. The stuff we're talking about is not mane and tail. Although that might explain why Jetter's beard is like that. You've been rubbing mane and tail in your beard, man.
No. I had never heard of that. What is that?
It's stuff for your. It's basically it makes your hair fuller, and it's supposed to, like for horses, and it makes their. It's another thing with a horse on the bottle. Okay,
I need some on top then.
I don't know if it does that, but it's supposed to. Yeah, hey, just go on in there and say I want some mane and tail, and get back to me about that. So I'm not sure how long I've been following you, to be honest with you. I think I discovered you through Garage and Powerlifting, and that account's kind of gone by the way since Sherry passed away, unfortunately. But talk about, just as we wrap this up, talk about like having an online community, because I mean you're on a farm, and I mean you're probably around you're around some strong dudes because of just your environment, whatever. But what's the benefit for you of being online? Is it being able to meet people like Clint Darden, or like what does it do for you? Like, why do you have your Instagram, and why is that important for you?
I guess I do the Instagram more for myself now than when I started. I wanted to, just like everybody, you want to break a world record, you want to get sponsors and everything, you got to have followers to get that. But
right.
So that's why it started, I guess. But now it's just more for myself than anything, just something to do, and because I don't post as much as I used to, and it's just, I guess, just you do meet a lot of friends and stuff over the internet, and then you get to meet them whenever they show up at meets. Like
nice.
That's when I met you the first time at a meet.
Yeah,
so
that's right. And I had already been following you. I was like, oh yeah, and in fact, that's actually I was saying, I said, yeah, this is a strong dude, man. I've been watching this training and all that. That's the benefit for me. Is like I get to see you guys. So then when I go to do a live stream, I'm calling commentary. Like I can talk about the person because I've seen them in their training, and I'm not up there just saying, okay, and now next, they're gonna go for 242 kilos. That's boring. People want to hear more about the,
That's
whatever. Right. So I got it up on the screen. It says it's at farmer.strong_ on Instagram. Is that basically how people can follow you if they want to check out your training? They want to get links for raw milk or whatever else you got going on.
Yes,
DMS. So there's a lot. We talked about a lot of weird stuff during this comment. None of this stuff was. They just want to reach out. Is that how they can reach out to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool, man. All right, well, man, get on out of here and take that awesome little girl. You take her. She's got to go. So I know she ain't no telling what she's doing right now. Because if she's like mine, first of all, I don't hear anything, so that might be a problem.
That's right.
So you might need to go make sure everything's all right. And she's probably at the in the driver's seat of your truck now. So, man, thank you for taking some time out to talk to me, Jetter, man. And hey, look, man, God bless and get well soon. All right.
Thank you. You too.
All right, man. Later on. All right, bye. All right, that was my guy Jetter Lewis, man. That's a good dude. He's so see, we had a it said dark meat lovers assemble. Pause. Oh God. Man, hey, you ain't lying, man. White meat is like eating, you're right. Ari says it's like eating leather. And Carlos said Jetter has a new follower. Eric, yeah, man. I'm telling you, he's got some cool stuff on there. You guys will get to see his training, the stuff that he's been doing recently. And like I said, I was able to keep up with what he had going on simply because I was following him. And then, I saw he was at the meet. I said, oh, cool. I was able to talk about his training and everything else just in the thing because I learned a lot about his training. That's actually how I found out that he had Clint Darden as a coach. So that's a really cool thing. You guys make sure you are following at farmer.strong_ on Instagram. All right. So it is now 8. Man, time is flying by. It's now 8:01 a.m. So shout out to the Mountain Time Zone. Appreciate you guys for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button for me. Make sure so that we can hit our goal of 50,000 subscribers because we cannot hit that goal without you. We're over 40,000 now, but please hit that like, subscribe for me. And then share the video to help me get to my goal of 50,000 subscribers. Let's see here. One other thing I want to bring up is that we do have a couple of sponsors for the show. We already talked about the fact that I've got an affiliate code with Bells of Steel, but we also have an affiliate code with Ion Gear. And so if you guys are looking for a weighted vest, I know that weighted vest workouts are really popular nowadays. So if you're looking for a weighted vest, you want to go to iongear.com and you guys can see that they've got the men's workout vest, which is the one that I got my uncle. That video is here on my channel. They've got a crop vest bundle. This is the crop vest is for ladies. Got the women's workout vest. You see it comes in multiple colors. The men's vest comes in a few different options as well. And if you use promo code Garage Gym Life when you get to checkout, then you will save it was 15%, but now you can save 20% off with code Garage Gym Life at checkout at ion.com. And that will support the show. And like I said, you'll also save 20%. And to be honest with you, I think that these are the best workout vests. I have used, obviously, sappy plates and things like that when I was in the Marine Corps. And to be honest with you, those are not the best designed workout vests, in my opinion. Now, to be fair, the purpose of a sappy plate isn't to give you a workout. It's to stop bullets from killing you. All right. But I think that the workout vests that they have now that are designed like that aren't the best design. And so I prefer the Ion workout vest. It feels like you're just putting on another piece of clothing, but it adds weight to your body. So you not only and you can wear it because it doesn't look weird. You can wear it just out and about. You can wear it. My uncle wears it when he's doing conference calls throughout his day at work. They fit well, they look good, and they increase your daily calorie burn without you really having to do any huge alterations to your schedule. So go ahead, check out ion.com and make sure you use promo code Garage Gym Life when you get to checkout so you can save that 20%. All right. And now, Christopher Wichtl. Chris, I'm ready for you. So, all right. So, Chris, I'm going to have to, so that email I sent you had the link, but what I'll do is I will go onto your Instagram and I will DM the link to you again. Because if I put the link in the chat here, then everybody will be able to get on the show, and that will not be good. Because it will be just complete and total chaos. All right, so let me go ahead right in here. All right, so here we go. All right, so there's your link. I just put it in your DMs. Hey, Eric says I'll check out Ion. Dude, my man, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. He says, I honestly believe this channel will get big throughout time. Great content. Love it. Man, thank you, Eric. That's the kind of stuff that really fuels my fire. And I love seeing people like stop by, you know, but whenever somebody stops by and then like, hey, this is actually a lot of fun. I enjoy watching it. That really fuels the fire. So I really appreciate the encouragement. With that being said, there's 777 of you guys watching right now. Everybody hit like right now. Hit that like button right now, because this is that not only fuels the fire, but it also lets other people know that this is something that they should watch, because YouTube will recommend this video to more people. The more you guys hit like and you hit subscribe and you're interacting with me like Eric is. Now there's 792, 798. Oh, we're going in the right direction. 798 of you guys watching right now. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button for me while we wait for our next guest, Christopher Wichtl. While we wait for him, I knew I had another, not really random thing, but I have to ask you guys' opinion. Let's see here. I had so I'm interviewing, shout out to my guy, Eric Eccles, because he really did the groundwork to set this up. But I am going to be interviewing Emily Samuel next week. She is the creator of the Booty Box platform. And I know that doesn't sound like something that's too, that's not necessarily the most, hardcore thing. But, I think that it's an awesome looking piece of gear. And she actually is partnered with Fringe Sports. So you guys got that to look forward to next week. So one of the things that I'm going to ask you guys, so after we finish our conversation with Christopher, one of the things I'm going to ask you guys is to help me out, because I want to get your opinion on the thumbnails. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead. Chris, are you ready? All right. You look cold, but we're gonna get this thing cranked up. All right. So here's our second guest for the day, Christopher Wichtl. All right. He is a USPC judge. He's also a lifter, highly accomplished lifter. And we got some cool topics. So here we go. Everybody show your love for Chris. Welcome. Welcome. I started playing that. I was like, I want you should feel like Ric Flair coming into the arena, like spin around and everything, but I know you're sitting down, so you don't have to do it this time. We'll just do it next time.
Okay. We can do it next time.
All right, my man. All right, man. So let's jump right into this, because I know you got called out to work unexpectedly. Hey, that's the way it goes, man. Semper Gumby, like I learned in the Marine Corps. First they taught us Semper Fidelis, then they said, all right, now Semper Gumby, always be flexible. So let's jump right into it. I saw you compete. The first time I saw you compete was at the Shaq Showdown. Ironically enough, the same show, the same competition where I first saw Jetter compete, even though I had been following him. But I wasn't familiar with you, right? So I first saw you compete at the Shack Showdown, and I had no idea when I watched you lifting that you had cut 40 pounds to weigh in.
For that one,
you
it
were
wasn't
280, and you went from 280 to 242.
The one before that we did. It wasn't the showdown. We just stayed at the normal. I was 260.
I was like, whoa.
The meet before that, we went from 280 to 242.
I was like, what? I was like, this does not, because I mean, okay, so I grant you the way they do, USPC does a 24-hour weigh-in, so it's not like the insanity with like the USAPL used to do, where it's like a 2-hour weigh-in, or they might still do it. All right. But you still, I mean, even if you recomp or whatever and you rehydrate, you still, that's a lot of weight. So I was like, my eyes are like that. So that being said, you are a strong dude. And I saw you post a video on Instagram. In fact, I won't tell people about it. I'm gonna show this to people. All right. You posted a video on Instagram where you were benching 505 for reps. And I believe this is it. No, that's not it. Yeah. Hold up. Is this it? Yeah, there we go. All right. So let's just take a look at this. And then I got questions. So yeah, this is this dude just benching 505 for a nice, easy, casual set of 5 after working 11 hours. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I know most of the people who are watching this, who have seen the show, they think I'm going to ask you about your rogue monolift attachments. That's not what we're going to talk about. What we're going to talk about is why are you boycotting face savers?
So for me, it's the biggest thing, and it sounds stupid, and it's dangerous, and nobody should ever do it. But if they're there, I won't push myself as hard because I know they'll save me. So if there's nothing there, I have to get it. There's no choice. Either I'm gonna probably end up in the hospital or get it. So there's no choice.
So when you said that, what came into my head was that quote from Rocky. I think it was Rocky 4. Drago. He said, "If he dies, he dies."
And that's kind of like where we're like, the biggest thing that holds me back by training at home is the whole, well, somebody's always there to save you. Somebody's always going to help you get the weight. Even if you're at a normal gym, somebody's always going to help you.
Right.
So are you pushing yourself as hard as you can if you know in the back of your head somebody's there? Okay. Oh, I'm getting tired. Oh, I'm just going to stop. Here, take the weight for me. Okay. We don't have that choice. If it's not there to stop you, then you better get it, or oh well.
Since I'm a trained interviewer, I've got a follow-up question. So then why you got clips on there? What's the plan? What is the plan if you can't, let's say you sneeze. Let's say you sneeze and fart at the same time, and now you're stuck, right? Are we doing the infamous roll down? I mean, I know you can't dump it because you got clips on there. So I'm listening. You got my full attention. I want to hear this.
There really is none. My dad always said I wasn't the brightest one. That's why I got a strong back, because I don't have a strong mind. But a lot of times my fiance is there videoing it, and there's been some occasions where I have missed, and she has had to take the weight off of one side, and it gets bad, and I get yelled at, and I get in a lot of trouble, and so.
And yet you go back, okay?
And then we get right back to doing the same thing. But everybody does it, right? Like everybody's like, you get done with the meet, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna work this, and this, and it's like that's the first 2 things that go out the window when you start prep. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna do this no more. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I ain't doing that junk anymore. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. My guy, so Matt, who's actually dealing with an injury right now, a quad injury. He's in the UK, and he talked about the dreaded snart. Hey, I'm telling you, we've all done it, the sneeze and the fart at the same time, and it catch you when you're vulnerable because you're benching, you're not really thinking about that, right? And then you brace and things happen, and you just gotta, I'll just deal with the consequences later. All right, that's fine. What is because you were you're talking about how you know your fiance is there and all that, but I showed that video. It's after an 11-hour workday. Okay, so or even like now, you're sitting in your truck in the middle of a field, right? When you go home and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go train. Talk about the process of getting your mind right to go train especially after a long day. Like, how do you say, okay, first of all, like when I was working on I used to work for Marietta Power, and I remember the first thing I'd have to do, because I'm tired, you know, you're walking out, like kick off the boots and I put on some slides, you're tired. But at some point during that drive, I had to like start telling myself I'm not tired. You know, because you got to shake it off. Because if I'm tired, I'm going to bed. I'm not going to go train. So what's your process like for getting your mind right to go ahead and jump in the gym after a long day of work?
It's pretty much I back myself into a corner.
Here we go again.
It's supposed to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna squat on Monday, and I get home Monday, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like it. Now it's Tuesday, and I'm like, So now we're backed up 2 days, and I'm like, oh my God, the day's like I got to do it today. So then it's like, okay, well, let's just go do it. Like, I can't, can't get out of it this time. We got to, and I mean, it's horrible because by the time I get off, I got, there's 4 kids in the house. It's homework, schoolwork, eat, try to get like a 10-minute nap. And then once everybody's in bed, it's like, okay, now let's go out here and do something.
Okay.
I've never been like a really big like hype guy, like. And Johnny,
no, but I mean, like, to just be able to say, okay, it's time to go to. Is it kind of like if you wake up in the morning and you got to go to work, you're tired, but you still go. You know what I mean?
So So my first competition was in 2003 in high school.
Okay.
So I've done. It's just what you do now. Like now, it's just like, oh well.
Shout out to you, making me feel old. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that, Chris.
Well, I felt old at the shack because I was like the third oldest person. I remember being like the youngest person there. And now the old guy.
So in 2000, let me put it this way. I graduated from college in 1995. Thanks. We'll just leave that there. Anyway, so I don't know, because you say you're not a hype guy, but I know you do.
You could probably look at some of the videos and see, like, I'll joke with the judges while I'm walking on the platform, or like hit them and be like, watch, like it's just fun. Like, and as bad as that sounds, like, and God, if you talk to Nicole, she'll say I complain about lifting all the time and how much I hate it and I don't want to do it. And I probably backed out of the showdown like 50 times. Like, I'm not doing it. This hurts. I'm not doing it. But I still show up and it's still fun.
Okay. All right.
So as long as it stays fun, I think we're gonna still do it, give it a whirl. Yeah. But
okay. Well, so we've got Eric. Hey, you spoke it into existence because now there's 1,523 people who are watching, and they're gonna see this. So let's talk about, because I want to talk about nutrition now. Let's talk about the performance enhancing properties of a burger where you, for some strange reason, are using a donut as the bun. And I know people are thinking I'm making this up, but because I always back up what I say. So there's a lot going on in this picture. Let's talk me through that. So there's a Miller Lite, all right? And there's the donut right there. That's the donut. That's the top of the bun. What is this 3-piece? This has got to be at least 2 patties. Yeah. Bacon, of course, because, for the culture, got to have that. When I saw that burger, I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I know what I'm eating today. But then I noticed that's a donut. Is that not at the top?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw it online. I was like, man, that's got to be good, right? Like 2 Krispy Kreme donuts and cheeseburger in the middle of it. And so we had to try it.
So you did not invent this. So you didn't invent this combination. You just an early adopter.
I just saw it and I was like, man, we got to try that. And, and I am the last person when it comes to nutrition that anybody needs to take advice from.
Oh no, you're giving advice today. We got to get, the people are here specifically to hear from you because you got some stuff that you are definitely the expert on, and we're going to get to that a little bit later on.
I will say I have a very interesting way of doing things. That's for sure. It's not the normal chicken and rice kind of meals.
I can verify that. I've been going through your internet posts, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." Okay, that's wow. Did that fit your macros?
So I've never tracked what I eat. I wrestled in high school, and once I got done with that, I was like, man, I'm never going to diet again. And I think I've only done 242 like twice. Like I've only cut weight twice since then.
So Matt said carbs, protein, and calories is what's in this meal here. So he said it seems healthy to you. It seems pretty healthy. It's got carbs, protein, and calories. I mean, that's pretty much all you need. Definitely. I can't argue with that. All right, let's talk about something else then. Because let's go ahead and stop sharing there. Because you did casually go into a public gym and deadlift 600 pounds for reps. And because you were deloading. So how does that feel like when you're in the gym and you're doing like 600 pounds for reps and people come up and ask you like, oh, hey, how much is that? And you're like, oh, I'm deloading the 600 pound. I think it was like 605 or something like that. Yeah. How's that feel? Just walk in buildings and know you're the strongest dude there.
I mean, like, I don't even see it that way. Like everybody's like, oh, you're kind of big. And I don't see myself as strong. Like, because to me, it's just what you do. It's okay. Well, let's just go deadlift. Let's go. But if anybody ever comes up, I'll always take the time to talk to you. Because somebody had to show me and guide me for me to get to where I am. So especially a lot of kids now, it's always like, man, I'll take the time to talk to you. But at the same time, I really don't like being the center of attention, as dumb as that sounds. Like, it's like, why are these people looking at me? Why, what? I'm just over here lifting.
But you're deadlifting 600 pounds for reps. Go ahead. You're doing the same one? Go ahead, I'm listening.
Well, I mean, so if somebody's beside me and they're doing 300, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing to me. Just because I'm a little bit stronger doesn't really, like, I don't see it as that. We're all just there to work.
Because they're pushing themselves too. Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. But
it is kind of fun to watch because you get to go in and you get to find the little alpha in the gym and to be like, oh, watch this. Like, we can do a little bit more than anybody.
Like you walk over and they finish benching, you're like, you done with this? And then you just pick it up and walk away with it. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, the local gym did a bench press and deadlift competition for like a rower or something like that.
Okay.
And I just walked in and everybody was like, well, this is over. This is dumb. This is.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much.
Like, because we even stopped. I stopped at like, I think a 500 bench and a 700 pound deadlift. And we just stopped. I'm just like, I'm done. And they're like, okay, here's your stuff.
Here's your rower. So Jen Thompson told me, I would say this probably doesn't happen to you, but I was a trainer. I've committed this sin. So I'm going to go ahead and confess now. I've done this. But Jen Thompson said this happens to her often. And I know this happens to women a lot. Female lifters, I mean, like they'll go somewhere, nobody knows who they are. So then you got people who are like trying to show them how to do it safely or the right way, whatever. But when I was a trainer and I had just gotten my certification, which is when you're at your most dangerous, I remember going up to Jesse Rogers, who used to be president of the SPF. He founded the SPF. At the time, Jesse was a lifter. And I remember walking up to him and he was deadlifting or something like that. And I started telling him how he should deadlift to protect his back. And, we're friends to this day because he didn't just snap. All right, like go away from me, right? But do you ever have that, like where the guy, he's fresh out of college, like I was at that time, and he knows everything because that's, you're young. Do you ever have that happen? Like somebody comes up to you with advice when you're out of town and nobody knows you?
There's a handful. There's a couple of interesting conversations we've had with. Somebody told me one time I needed to go video some deadlifts because I was doing it wrong. And I was
what was your max at the time? What was your total?
This was after one of the meets in Virginia, so it was over 2,000. I was pulling over 8.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'll take that into consideration. And one of the guys at the gym actually knew, and he walked over and was like, "Do you even know who you just said that to? Like, he can lift 800. I'm pretty sure his form is fine." And they're like, "Oh, we didn't know." And I'm just like, wow.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
But I've had people look at me and be like, "Well, that looked heavy," and I'm like, "Man, it's we're squatting 800 pounds. It should be heavy. Like, I don't know what you want me to do." Like,
Yeah. I got you.
I had one trainer ask why I take my shoes off while I deadlift.
All right.
I was like, "Well, I don't want my shoes to smell because I sweat," and just left it at that. Like,
Nice.
but it's just, I mean, you just
I
kind of
got
let
you.
it go at this point. And you can't go out in public nowhere. You can't go. It's always, what do you bench? And then you tell them. And it's like, well, my cousin did this in high school, and I'm
Of
like,
course.
that's cool.
Of course. They're just making conversation. So you also coach and handle lifters in competition, and I think you do it in person, I think. Do you also train people online?
I have, but with my schedule, everything's so busy. I don't feel like I can give enough time. But I will help. Like I said, I'll help anybody out. Like,
you get tips.
I'll do anything I can to help somebody out.
All right. So you pretty much have people just come over the house then, if they want to train.
If anybody wants to come over, or meet somewhere, I'll go to somebody's. It doesn't matter to me.
You still charging a roll of toilet paper and let's see, it's I think it was roll of toilet paper and a pack of chicken.
Yeah,
I believe that's what you posted.
That was during COVID when things were getting rough.
That was the COVID price. Okay.
Like, I'll open up my gym at COVID time. Like, come on over. Like, we'll make this a deal. Like, now it should be. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll come up with something good. Inflation's getting pretty bad. Food's getting crazy.
I saw that. He was like,
just bring food with you. Just bring food. Just share.
He said, "Yeah, you come on over, but it'll cost you to train. It's like cost you a pack of chicken or a roll of toilet paper, and we provide childcare. Basically, we'll let your kids play unsupervised in my backyard." I was like, "That sounds like quite the deal." Hey, there you go.
Yeah. We even got a wrestling mat inside now, so now you can go in the living room and they can just wrestle around all day.
That's perfect. Okay, so I knew when I said that we were gonna get some suggestions. So the new charge is a large pack of Haribo and Rice Krispie squares. There you go. Okay. There you go. And while we're once again talking about nutrition, my favorite video of yours is your pre-workout video. We're gonna watch that video together, and then I got a few questions.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Today is gonna be a simple day. We're gonna talk about.
First of all, let's just start with your tone. It's measured. I feel like I can trust you based upon how you sound like you know what you're talking about. Your vocal level sounds calm and measured, like that's perfect. Okay. You can trust this man. All right.
Pre-workout and how to take it my way. So here we go. Get your pre-workout, Southern Ghost. Only get it from me. Text me, call me, figure it out. I'll tell you how to get it.
Okay.
There's only one flavor because we only believe in one thing. It works.
Okay, let's stop there. There's only one flavor because we only believe in one thing. That's the quote of the year. It works. All right, so flavor's irrelevant. Okay, let's note it.
There's only one flavor because we only believe in one thing. It works. 2 scoops, only if you want to die. And then, and you only find me doing it, this is what you mix it with. No, it's not water. And if I got to tell you what it is, then you don't have it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't take a lot, just a little.
Well.
Shake it all up.
Okay. So as I said, I got questions. Was that before the whiskey and deadlifts thing that Chris Duffin was doing? Or was that just your spin on it?
I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
I don't even I do not do social media at all. So
okay.
Anything you see is just my dumbness coming out.
Okay, so first of all, Matt is definitely going to try that. He said that's going to wake you up. Yeah. So Chris Duffin, man, I don't even know how many years ago this was. He went on Mark Bell's Powercast, and he mentioned that he likes to take a shot of whiskey before he deadlifts. And he said, this is a paraphrase, right? But he said, basically, part of the problem is when you approach a bar, you have a little bit, yes, Eric, it is. All right. But anyway, he said, when you approach a bar, you got, no matter how many times you've taken that weight, you still got a little bit of fear, a little bit, or whatever. And he says, so what you do is, he said, you take a shot of whiskey. He said, it's just like you take a shot of whiskey and it kind of gives you a little bit of that courage to go talk to that girl over there or whatever. He said, it's the same, but you don't want to overdo it. He said, it's the same idea. And so that started this whole thing for a long time. It's like people just went and they called it whiskey and deadlifts. They're printing shirts and all kinds of other stuff. All right. So circling back to you with your not water and your pre-workout, is that kind of like the strategy behind it? It's kind of like,
so I get to a point you could say that, but at the same time, it's not going to stop at one. That's the problem. You can ask some of the handful of people that have seen me at other USPC meets. The Shack was the first one I did not drink at all during the meet. Normal meet, when we start squats, I'll probably start drinking. And I know Johnny and everybody else probably has video or pictures of me walking to the platform with a bottle in one hand and like a can of oxygen in the other, and set them both down and go lift and then come right back and keep right on. So by the time we're done lifting, I could care less what happens. We're just there.
Okay. So what was it that got you to start doing that? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So there was a meet in Virginia at Brute, and it was the first time I totaled, I think it was like 2,200. I ended up squatting 8 and everything. Before deadlifts, I walked out the back door of the gym and all the spotters and loaders were drinking beer. And I was like, oh my God, I love y'all. Because they were like, here, have one. And they didn't know me from nobody. So we sat there before deadlift and man, we drank 2 or 3, 4. And then I walked back inside and still pulled 800. And I was like, well, maybe we're onto something. Maybe
there's something to us. Okay.
Maybe we'll just keep right on. So then it just started every meet. It's like, why not drink? Why not? And it's probably about the only time I drink is when I'm at a meet or going fishing.
Matt says your stabilizers must work on autopilot so you can keep your balance while you sauce. That's hilarious. I mean, it's just like, I think that's one of the things, like what you just said, right? So strangely enough, that didn't remind me of lifting. What it reminded me of is when I used to fight in the ring, right? And my coach occasionally, and when I say occasionally, maybe once a week, okay? Because we would, especially if you're getting ready for a fight, you're going to spar a couple times a week, right? But, about maybe once a week, he'd come in and he'd been drinking. And he said he did it on purpose. He said because he wanted to be able to train at less than 100% whatever so that he could get used to it, right? And when he said that, I was like, that makes perfect sense. And then he continued on. He said, you think about it, sometimes you get your bell rung and you still got to function. He said, if you're fighting in the alley or something like that, you get your bell rung, you kind of like out of it. When you think there's no ref to come save you, so you got to be able to function, right? He said, so I trained for that. So I just drink some whiskey and come on in and spar with y'all. So, okay. And at the time, it made perfect sense to me. Still makes perfect sense to me, all right? But if you get somebody who's just like a normal person, say, I want to take martial arts or whatever, and they're not thinking about it like a fighter, that won't make sense to them. So what you just said made sense to me because powerlifting is a sport. And it's like whatever edge, you know how like superstitious athletes are, right? So it's like whatever you just tried, if it works, you're doing it Yeah, man, you never washing them socks again. You gonna wear that same underwear? I mean, everything. We ain't changing nothing. And and then if something does go wrong, I remember I burnt a singlet because I had a bad meet. I said, "Oh no, that's it. We're never wearing that again." Because it was something that had never happened to me. I said, "No." I burnt my singlet. I said, "I don't know what it was." It's because that's the other thing too. I had never worn that singlet before. I burnt it, and I went back to my old singlet, and everything went back to normal. You see what I'm saying? So that made perfect sense to me because it's like, oh yeah, powerlifting's a sport. Do you have anything else that you do that like people will find strange, but then you're like, well, I'm not out here, I'm not lifting for like health or whatever or general fitness. I'm actually an athlete, a high level athlete, and I'm training for competition. What are some other things that you find that that you do that people might find surprising?
Oh man, there's because everybody will look at me and be like, man, I bet you eat a lot of chicken and rice. And I'm like, no, it's like, cheese fries and just crap all day long. Like, which we're trying to get a little bit better at that, but it's not working too good. But I mean, I don't know, because I don't even see it as like being like a true athlete. It's so weird the way I look at it because I'm just doing it for fun. Like, I know I'm not getting no money. Nobody's getting paid. I'm not getting, well, I mean, you can, but you're not making money. Like, this is not my living.
Right.
This is all fun. So if it's not fun, then I don't want to do it. Nobody who wants to do something that's not fun.
Definitely. I mean, I'm about to say, I saw you win money, but I know what you're talking about. It's like, it's not like you could like quit your job and go live on your powerlifting winnings.
We're not living off of that.
You've been under a tarp by the river.
Yeah. But I mean, most of the food like choices and everything, people will be like, really? That's what you're showing up with? Like,
yeah.
At the showdown, I showed up with a big old tub of cheese balls. That was a handful of cheese balls between each attempt. I mean,
okay.
That's become the new thing, I guess.
I'd be hungry if I did that.
Oh, okay. I hate eating. I will, if I had my choice and somebody wasn't there forcing food down my throat at a meet, I wouldn't eat.
Oh, so like I guess I can kind of see it though, because if like you eat, like I don't eat before I squat. I go to the bathroom before every squat session. I know that's what everybody who's watching wanted to know. But I go to the bathroom before I squat because I remember watching the Ed Cohn video, and he talked about how he was training one day, and he ended up he squatted and he kind of filled his diaper a little bit because he hadn't gone to the bathroom first. I said, oh well, that's never going to happen to me. So now I go to the bathroom before I squat. But I could see like eating before bench. Maybe not deadlift because and I wouldn't eat a whole lot because I don't like feeling like my stomach is full and then I can't like get down to the bar. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got that. I get it. Eric, I'm not sure that I believe you. He says chicken and rice with hot sauce is great. Try it sometime. You won't regret it. I feel like you might regret it. I feel like you might regret it. But hey, anybody watching it, feel free to try it. Just be warned. Matt says, I love the strongman diet. I want steak, cheesecake, and donuts. He said, if I want them, I have them. He says it's the best sport ever. Yeah, I mean, it's not like, or like what a sport like sumo. They're force feeding themselves. You know what I mean? It's not like there's no such thing as like I'm just eating for enjoyment. They're like eating because they got to stay a certain size. Or like an NFL lineman. You know what I mean? Like they're eating everything. So it's not like, everybody can't be a 14-year-old gymnast. You know what I mean?
The worst of it all was I was getting ready for the Arnold. Yeah. And Nicole was getting ready for her bodybuilding show 2 weeks after I did the Arnold.
Oh, that's savage.
So I'm sitting in the hotel room. I got like 3 pizzas. I'm trying to choke all this food down before, and she's over there eating like cold chicken and rice. And it's like a little handful because she's just like, I get the look of like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to stab you with my fork. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
But that is horrible.
Because she came from the bodybuilding background and then moved over to powerlifting. And she still tracks everything. And I get yelled at so much for the stuff I eat and what I should be doing and know I should do, but I don't do. And
well, let's take a look at So this is her bedtime meal. So this is Greek yogurt, protein powder, banana, honey, and a couple of chocolate chips weighed out. And then this is and it's actually even sitting on a food scale. And then this is your meal from the same day. Vanilla ice cream, banana. So see, you both got a banana. There you go. Something in common. All right. Vanilla ice cream, banana, chocolate syrup, and a chocolate cupcake with chocolate frosting. So yeah, I can see that there's a little bit of a divergence in terms of. I got you. Okay.
I just keep hoping that she doesn't go back to bodybuilding. I'm sure it will happen someday, but I just hope it's not soon because it gets bad.
I understand. So I do want to talk about. I was making a joke earlier about your monolift attachments, but I do want to talk about the equipment that you've collected because again, you're preparing for sports. So I like monolift attachments because to me they mimic a handoff a lot. Well, a good handoff anyway, better than just coming off of the J hooks. What are some other pieces of equipment you have that help you get ready for competing?
So probably the only other true things I have a squat bar, competition squat bar, and a deadlift bar. And other than that, it's close to just what you'll find at a normal gym. Like it's just weights.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is if you can lift with the bare minimum, then when you get to the nice stuff that's on the platform, you shouldn't have no problem. You should be able to overcome. We have we started using some bands this last prep just to take some of the fatigue off of me.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, we have weights, bars, and that's about it. There's nothing there. We don't have no special. I don't have no special one thing that's like, oh my God, everybody's got to go out and get this. Like, if you want to do a meet, all you need is a bar and somewhere the squat, somewhere the bench, and somewhere the deadlift, and you can make it work from there.
That's something that I've, a lot in the home gym community. You have a lot of people who are like obsessed over things like knurling, and scrape, like, the bar can't get scratched. And I mean, I like my stuff to look nice, but as I'm watching you here, you're doing a set of 745 for 2. And like, how do you like when you see stuff like that? I mean, I know that you don't normally get on social media, but I'm saying like for most lifters who are high level, I hear it over and over where you guys will just say that. It's just like, it doesn't really matter. I just use whatever. Like you're not even using calibrated plates.
No.
Do you have 100-pound plates or do you use 45s? No, those are 100s right there.
Yep. There's 800-pound plates at the house. And then we got a whole bunch of 45s.
Okay.
But no, it's just been, if you can just make it work, like look at Westside. Westside, if you walk into Westside back in the day, it was the biggest little crap hole in the world. But look at what it produced. I don't have to have the nicest stuff. All I have to do is bar and weight, and you're good to go.
And so, is that on? Like you said, the effect of it is when you get to a meet, it's nicer. The stuff you're using at the meet is nicer, whereas that can freak some people out when they get there. They're like, oh, well, this is different. And this is, I don't know about, whatever. Whereas for you, like, oh, all this is an improvement. So I'm happy.
I've been asked that. So signing up for me and they're like, oh, we're going to use this bar. And I'm like, okay, is it round? And can I hold it? They're like, yeah, we'll be fine. Like, we'll adjust. Yeah. We'll adapt to whatever it needs to be. Okay. That's probably the easiest way. Because, I mean, if you work, everything's not going to be the same every day. You're not going to feel the same every day. So all of it plays into, by the time you get to a meet, it doesn't matter what happens. It's going to be whoever can adapt to that environment is going to end up having the best day there.
I think the biggest thing that happened to me as far as home gym equipment goes and trying to get ready for meets was I had an old Dynabody bench. I actually mentioned this earlier in the show. I had an old Dynabody bench, and it was actually, I didn't realize it was too tall until I got to the meet, and my leg drive was different because the competition benches were shorter, right? So then when I went back home, I've gotten rid of that bench now, but so when I got back home, I went and I got some my pull blocks, and I started benching with my feet up on the pull blocks so I could mimic the height you know what I mean, of the because I measured the pull blocks, and that basically made it was the same, right? But that way I had the same kind of leg drive, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like my legs weren't bent as much in my training prior to that, and then I get to the meet, and then my legs are bent a lot more, so it was hard to even figure out where to put my feet, and so it took me a little bit to get used to it, because even the bench in the warm-up room wasn't a competition bench. So I didn't know until I did my opener, and I didn't have a coach at the time, right? This was before, so at the time my coach was Steve Goggins, but I hadn't met him yet. So I get on there and I'm just like, oh, this is weird. And then of course my Dynabody bench was all slippery and slick and everything. Like, so it was like I used to take like the resistance band and wrap it around the bench or whatever. Yeah. So I still think about that stuff, and I know I sound like a lot of these guys. I sound like the old man saying, "You kids, you're soft nowadays or whatever." But being around a lot of athletes who are like you, who are high level, I kind of look at, like, I don't value like the equipment. Like I don't put the equipment up on a pedestal. You know what I mean? I think that you should get good value for what you pay for, and it should do what it's supposed to do. But I'm not the guy. So like, if anybody ever watches my reviews, I don't talk about, oh well, this showed up and it had chips on it. I mean, I might say it, but I don't care. I'm like, does it work? You know what I mean? That's not. I've never sent anything back because it had like blemishes on it. I send it back because it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, or it's not safe to use it. Let's see here. Let's talk about, because you mentioned that you don't have the time, that you don't feel like you have the time to devote to somebody to give them the attention they need. And I want to make sure we cover this, because I know a lot of people will go searching for a coach online, and usually they'll pick out somebody that looks big. Okay. Oh, he looks big. He looks fairly strong. And hey, he's accepting client. I've got room for 5 clients right now or whatever, right? That kind of thing. Pete Ruber says something. Shout out to Pete. Pete Ruber said something one time I thought was really impactful. He said he would start cutting off. Like he wouldn't accept more clients once he got to a certain number, because he's like, I can't actually give you attention and actually see your video and comment on it and critique you if I've got more clients than this. So if somebody's looking for an online coach, what are some things that people might not think about that you would recommend that they check out before they say, hey, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hire this guy as my coach?
If they're a good fit for you, because a lot of coaches, you're going to get, I'm not going to say every coach will give you a cookie cutter kind of plan, but if a coach doesn't know how to work with an athlete that works 11 hours a day and can adjust the programs to around your lifestyle, then it might not be the coach for you. If you don't feel they have the time to give you, if you're asking questions and it's taking longer than you feel to get back to you, you're paying them kind of for their service, but if they're not helping you in the way that you need help, then that gets a little, I guess, not what you're looking for.
Okay.
But that would be my biggest thing, because I've worked with a couple of coaches and they were both great. But when I tell them like, hey, look, I just worked 12 hours. It's 110 degrees outside. I lost, 10 pounds at work just by sweating. I didn't want to eat all day long. I drank like 1 bottle of water. What do we need to do? Like, how are we changing how I lift?
Right.
You got to find somebody that's able to help you there.
Got you.
And not just be like, oh, no, it's fine. Just push through it. And it's like, no, we're not pushing through this one. This is not.
Yeah, no. Got you. What, I say there's always, every day, there's somebody out there prepping for their first meet. Every day of the year, there's somebody out there who's getting ready for their first meet. Give them 3 pieces of advice. Let's say that person happens to see this video. Give them 3 pieces of advice that you wish you would have gotten and or listen to, because sometimes we get the advice and we just don't listen to it. So give them 3 pieces of advice that you wish you had gotten, or that you got and you didn't listen to and you wish you would have, before you were going into your first meet.
Oh man, don't cut if this your 10th, 15th, unless you're going for some kind of crazy world record or your best, there's no reason to cut weight. There's no, the effect that it will have. You've already invested your time, your money, and you just want to drop 10 pounds to be in a different weight class that honestly nobody's going to remember. There's probably nobody out there that can tell you what I squatted when I did the third Arnold that I did. Nobody, it doesn't matter. Give it, 6 months and everybody's going to forget what you did anyway. So there's no reason for you to even cut weight. So don't even, because that's, if you have a bad day, then, it's just not good. Another one's just have fun. Like chances are it's not a paid meet. You're not going to be the best out there in the whole world. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, long as you just go out there and do all that you can do and just have fun. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be have fun, meet new people, hang out with friends, and just have fun. That's, at the end of the day, you're paying pretty much to have fun. So you might as well have fun. And then, the third one, we'll play the USPC judge and just read the rule book. There are so many people that don't know the rules. It kind of cracks me up a little bit when we're at a meeting. They're like, well, what about this or what about this? And I'm like, did you read the rule book? No. Okay, well I would start there. I'd start read the rule book before you come.
So that actually, so I'm going to try to get you on the USPC. For anybody who doesn't know, I also do the USPC podcast now, Conquering the Platform. In fact, I'm actually interviewing Star later on today, for the next episode. And so I want to get you on there too, to do a more USPC specific interview. But this is a question that I had planned for that interview, right? So I'll just throw it in here though, because it came up, is you get people who watch a live stream and they're worse than the internet. So I used to do multiple camera angles whenever we do live streaming. We got like 6 cameras we'd normally take to a meet, right? And so we would have it set up so, like, let's say you start the squat and it's the front view, but then we would always switch to a side view to show, hey, they're hitting depth or whatever, just whatever. And then we stopped doing that because people were taking the screenshots from our live stream and taking it to the yes, you see what I'm saying? And it was a, hey, look, you can see on video I hit depth, so that should have counted, right? And I think I field a lot of questions on the live streams about people saying, well, why didn't that count? He hit depth. That squat looked better than that squat and that kind of thing, right? And I know that sometimes it's a case of people, they mean well. This might be their first meet ever they've watched. And like all they know about squatting is what they learned in football, right? But how tough is that? Because you're helping to build the USPC North Carolina, right? And so how tough is that, having to like deal with all the internet experts and all the people who like watch a meet and they want to give you advice and, hey, this needs to change and this and that?
You just kind of take it with a grain of salt and just like, hey, if you think you can be a better judge, then by all means, come on out here and give it a try one time and see how tough it really is.
Yeah.
Nobody's giving anybody anything that I know. Like, I've been red lighted just as many. Stars red lighted me before on squats, and
right.
But I deserve it. At the end of the day, I can say, yeah, well, I was probably high.
Yeah.
But it's social media is good and bad all at the same time. Everybody has their little view, and hey, if you don't like it, then you change it. You have the power to change it. You can come be a judge.
Yeah. All right. Well, man, I love the fact that you were willing to, still come out here and do this interview, even though you got called into work and everything else like that. I appreciate it. Appreciate you taking time out of your day. And honestly, man, I want to tell you in front of everybody that you came up to me after the meet to tell me, you enjoyed the live stream. And man, you don't know what that kind of encouragement does, because a lot of times, I wouldn't say it's as tough as setting up a meet or like putting on a meet and having to like set up everything yourself and all that. But it is tough. You know, you're traveling to all these different places, staying in hotels, you know, you're away from family or whatever. And my wife is doing it with me now, so that's easier, but it's still a grind. And so I appreciate it whenever I get it, kind of the encouragement like what you gave me. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you being here. Now, with that being said, this is normally when I would say, you know, for you to give out your social media information, but that's not really going to be productive. So, because you don't really post.
That's one of those. We're trying. We're still trying to get more videos, and I just, I mean,
I
was like an old school. Like I'm just doing it just for like I don't know. I just
okay. So what I was going to say is, you guys are building the USPC North Carolina page. So would you rather people just follow that?
Yes, because we're going to start here soon, probably in the beginning of the year, start posting more gyms, local gyms, and trying to get more people involved in just the North Carolina side of it.
All right. So do you know what it is? Is it on Facebook? Is it on Instagram? What's the USPC North Carolina thing?
The Instagram one's USPC _ North Carolina, NC.
All right. Okay. So hold on. So everybody should follow at USPC _ North NC. Is that it?
NC. Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that in the because I wasn't sure about it. I will put that in the video description. So anybody who's watching now, if you're watching a replay, or even if you're listening to the podcast version on Podbean, just go into Podbean is the show notes, but just go in there and the link for that is in there. And so you guys can go check out USPC North Carolina. I did the Raleigh Ruckus. Yeah, I did the Raleigh Ruckus live stream once. So if possible, I'll come back, you know. Just depends. I don't know how things will go this year, but that I might be back in North Carolina to do another live stream there. But I consider the USPC is an excellent federation. I really like the vibe that you guys create. So anybody who's watching, if you're looking for a place to compete, check out the USPC. And obviously USPC North Carolina, as Chris said, is they're building up. They're going to have more content and all that. All right. Well, man, is there anything else that you want to share before I let you go?
Just keep lifting fun. Just keep it. It's not a living, so you might as well just have fun. Don't take it serious. There's nothing serious about like it's serious, but you don't have to make it. So like it can still be fun, even near the top. Even if you get 5th place at a meet, it's still fun at the end of the day.
Nice. All right, man. Well, man, thanks for being here, dude. You go ahead, enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you eat good stuff, and keep on. That's what your Instagram should just be, just food pictures. Just it can just be food pictures. You know, you could do stuff like what's in my refrigerator now. No, what's in my mini fridge now? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, it depends on what refrigerator you're talking about. The one downstairs or the one.
No. We're talking about the one that's by your bed. That's the one.
Snacks and Gatorade right now. Snacks and Gatorade.
There you go. All right, man. You have a good day, Chris, and I'll be in touch with you. Like I said, so we can set up that podcast for the Conquer platform, man. Thanks for being here, Dan. Okay. I appreciate it.
You too.
All right, later, man. All right, that was Christopher J. Wichtl. He is a USPC judge. See that, Chris is I knew. Although we originally planned for him to be at his house, and he got called. You see, he was in the middle of a field, so. It's one of those, hey, like I said, separate Gumby, you got to be willing to kind of be a little bit flexible. So it's I appreciate him still taking the time to come out and hang out with us and share his wisdom. And I appreciate all 1,460 of you who are watching this show right now. Please go ahead, hit that like for me. We definitely do not have enough likes on the video. I want to see more likes. Let's get those likes up if we can. You're watching anyway. Hit like. It's free, and it will definitely help out the channel. All right. It is now 8:58, and so we're about to shut this down. And We ran out of time. So what I'll do is the segment that I was going to do, the other React Respond segment, we'll just do that next week. Okay. But I said I wanted to get you guys' feedback. So so I can do that while at the same time telling you about what's coming up next week. So next week, as I said, thanks to my man Eric Eccles, I am going to be interviewing Emily Samuel, and she is the creator of the Booty Box. She just set up a deal with Fringe Sports so that the Booty Box platform is available at Fringe Sport. You guys see that it is a pretty multifunctional device. You can use it for more than you would think, and that's the Booty Box right there that Emily is on in that picture. And I'm torn. I'm not sure if I should use this thumbnail or this thumbnail. So you guys, which one do you guys prefer? You like this one? You like this one better? Or do you like this one better in terms of thumbnails? I'm trying to figure out my thumbnail style, if I need to make some changes to my thumbnails and improve them or not. So you guys let me know. Go ahead, drop a comment. Let me know what you think of my different, should I go with, this is A. So should I go with A or should I go with B? All right. So you guys let me know. Let me know which one you prefer. And with that being said, shout out to the West Coast. Thank you for getting up way too early with Garage Gym Life. Glad you guys were able to join us, and I hope you have an excellent weekend. We had a lot of fun today, as I do every single week. I appreciate all you guys for being here. I appreciate all the comments, because this show does not work if you guys don't get on here and share your comments and share your thoughts and all that. So I really appreciate you guys for being here and for making the show work. Thank you for all your support. Thank you to all of the sponsors that made the show possible, from including Bells of Steel and Ion, Way to Vest. All right. So anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here. Peace out.